Back here. That would be close. As close as it gets. Yes, we'll be back here at the half, by the way. We'll see you then. Alabama and Auburn coming up right now.
Is there a rivalry in sports that stirs passion and emotion, quite like the meeting of Auburn and Alabama? The names in past games are both famous and infamous in these parts. It merely depends on your point of view.
Bushler blasts his way into the end zone for a touchdown. Head to the boundary flag. Harry Davis makes it in for Alabama. It has drifted. It's gone.
Who will be the next hero of the Iron Bowl? A tailback with more touchdown runs than any in Alabama history? A courageous quarterback returning from serious injuries to again inspire his Tigers. The stakes, they are sizable on both sidelines. But for the next few hours, nothing else matters in the state of Alabama. From Jordan-Hare Stadium, it's the 8th-ranked Alabama Crimson Tide taking on the Auburn Tigers in the 64th renewal of the Iron Bowl. It's games like this that make college football absolutely outstanding. Hi, everybody. Ron Franklin. Welcome once again to Saturday primetime college football here on ESPN. What separates college football from the pros and all the other levels of football? Well, to me, it's the rivalries. And I know there are great rivalries all over the country, but I don't think there's one any more fiercely competed for than this one right here. Case in point, over 1,000 of these RVs and parking lots all around the campus here at Auburn today. They would have come in last week had they been allowed to. But in that 85,000-seat stadium over there, there are no fence riders. You're either Auburn or you're Alabama. Even if you come into this situation, as I told you last year, you must declare you're one or the other. And the other tough situation about this one is every day of the year, newspaper, radio, television, somebody has a story on either Auburn football or Alabama football. So if you lose, you've got to live with it for the remainder of the year. And how important is it to these people each and every year? Well, for instance, next year, this rivalry moves to Tuscaloosa for the first time. Last week in Tuscaloosa, a big sign went up that said 53 weeks till Auburn comes to town. ESPN very proud to be a part of the Iron Bowl for the 5th consecutive year. As I head back over to the stadium, I'll be joined by Adrian Karshman and Mike Gottfried as Alabama and Auburn are coming up next.
As you might expect, Keller and I don't see eye to eye on investing. I like to avoid risk. Keller's a little more daring. We do, however, share the same new way to trade online.
Introducing Power Street by Fidelity, the first site with trading tools customized by Lycos to fit your unique way of doing things.
Look, the market's up, or in your case, down.
Power Street Online Trading. To find out how you could win free trades for life, visit Fidelity.com.
Grandma, I quit my job.
What?
Done.
What about that rent you promised, Mark?
Internet.
Yeah.
The idea is giant, and I can work out of the house.
This house?
Yeah, I only need a few things.
Data ports, meeting rooms, 24-hour business services, and catering.
What does this look like, a Holiday Inn?
Find out why more business travelers choose us over anyone else. Today's Holiday Inn.
ESPN's presentation of primetime college football is brought to you by Fidelity Investments. We help you invest responsibly. Visit us at Fidelity.com. And by TGI Fridays, home of the Jack Daniels Grill. Very tough ticket. Sold out. Over 85,000 folks in here to see the Iron Bowl. And when you see the two teams always involved in this one, it really doesn't matter about those numbers over on the right, 8-2, 5-5, because the favorite team does not always win this football game. Sean Alexander, tonight, the last Iron Bowl for him. And this youngster wants to go out on a very good note. Not a Heisman Trophy candidate anymore this year because of injuries that he has sustained. But, boy, he has had a fantastic career. Hello once again, Ron Franklin along with Mike Gottfried And, Mike, I want to talk about the head coach, Mike DuBose. Some people say there's a world of pressure on him to win this football game tonight. You don't feel that way?
I think the pressure is, I agree, BCS and the West. But I think the decision's already been made. Mike DuBose is going to be back whether he wins or loses this football game.
Let's talk about a couple of his players. Sean Alexander, for sure, gets lots and lots of attention. So does Andrew Zhao. But there's a young receiver by the name of Freddie Millens who really makes things happen. We don't hear as much about Freddie.
No, and Millens is the player that's really worrying the Auburn coaches because Alabama will line him up a lot of different places. He can hurt you in kickoff returns, punt returns. He's the most dangerous player on this field for Auburn to defend.
Both staffs agree on one thing, and that's unusual. But both say Ben Laird is the key to this football game tonight.
Great story, and when he's been healthy, LSU, Georgia game, Auburn's played lights out on offense. The teammates, defensively, offensive line, they believe in Ben Laird. Has not thrown an interception this year. He gives them the best chance to win this football game.
So the situation, as you look at Tommy Tuberville, his first time on the sideline as the head coach of the Auburn Tigers in the Iron Bowl. And Mike DuBose across the way, 1-1 against Auburn. The weather tonight, we were afraid it was going to be a problem. We had rain starting just after noon, but it was light rain tonight. Winds are calm, not really a problem. And the forecast, 20% chance of a possibility of precip tonight. Auburn has won the toss. They have deferred, so Bama receives. Bama attired in their all-white. As you look at Damon Duval, number 20, who prepares to kick it off. To 15, Freddie Millens, or Arvin Richard on the other side, number 26. They are standing and they are cheering, which they will do most of the night. And the Iron Bowl, the last one of this century, underway. This is Richard from the 3. Tavarius Towns, one of the first men there with the hit, along with Brandon Reed. And let's check on the sideline. The third guy on this telecast, Adrian Karsten. Adrian?
Ron, for every senior who plays in this game tonight, he's going to take this whole experience with him the rest of his life. But there's one young man whose enthusiasm meter is over the top because this game may represent the end of his football life. Jimmy Brumbaugh 5 years ago had all the tools to play pro football, but now after a devastating knee injury, he may not even be a free agent. No one's going to take a chance on him, Ron. After becoming a leader, a husband, a father, and everything else, everything for him is on the line tonight because this could be his final football game of his life.
Well, we'll watch him very closely tonight, and he is an outstanding player. Zhao comes out, Adrian, and throws complete to McAdley. The Dell Computer starting lineup, Zhao, Sean Alexander, and Dustin McClintock behind him. The receivers, you just saw McAdley. Millens will hear a lot from him, and also they throw to the tight ends a bunch. We'll look for Jones. Samuels, one of the best Alabama's ever had, and the center, Paul Hogan, 74 out of Valdosta. He is outstanding as well. As this running play goes for very short yardage, still has the ball. Dummy play. They stopped. There was no whistle. The officials looked around to say, was it dead in the middle? No whistle blew, and Zhao still had it on his hip. Talk about this one, Mike Godfrey.
Well, I don't think it was a called play. I think that Andrew Zhao is going to hold the football, starts moving, and he takes off. I don't think that's a called play. I would be surprised. Mike Post shaking his head over there. Either they heard a whistle or it was a free call.
Well, it's a first down. New line of scrimmage is the 38. It's an 11-yard gain. This one too tall as he tries to connect with Millens. Auburn defensively, very good front seven. Washington, Brumbaugh, Carson, and Reese. Those are all veteran players. And very quick and active linebackers. Fields, Alex Lincoln, who had some very kind things to say about Sean Alexander this week. And in the secondary, Creighton and Casher. Casher certainly the best of the secondary. Very good cover guy. But they will not flip it. He will not necessarily go to the side where Millens is every time. Alexander. 5, now 6, maybe 7 yards in the vicinity of the 45 as Reese will trip him up.
Ron, you talked about the lineups. Alabama's offensive lineup, the key matchup, Dante Ellington, number 65, the freshman right tackle against Marcus Washington, number 82. This is big in this entire ball game. Pass rush-wise, Marcus Washington may get a little edge on the freshman.
Ellington, a young man that this coaching staff really likes. They think that he is going to come on to be an awfully good one. 3rd and 4. In and out of the hands of McAdley. He should have had that for a first down.
Run a lot of formations early by Alabama, trying to spread you out, trying to get linebackers on Sean Alexander and Freddie Millens.
Patrick Morgan, the first time that we will have seen him tonight. See his number just over 40, and his longest 61. Markeith Cooper, the 17, is a single deep safety for the Tigers. Good coverage kick, very high spiral. Cooper does not signal for the fair catch. Going to have about 12 yards on the return as he'll take it to the 32-yard line. 36 yards on the boot. And it gives us an opportunity to take a look at the Dell Computer starting lineups for the Auburn Tigers. Ben Laird, quite a story. We'll get to that as the evening goes on. Heath Evans, who's been a fullback, gets the start at tailback. Markeith Cooper is the H-back. Daniels, one of the wide receivers, he's really come on. And up front with the offensive line, and this probably is the biggest question for Auburn, Geno James, the veteran, though, the left tackle, number 78, out of Montgomery. Cooper in motion. They fake it to him. Laird under pressure, and he is going to be hit as he throws and has it complete at the 42. Lorenzo Diamond, number 49, a redshirt freshman out of Biloxi. Moorhead, Grimes, Griffin, and King. Grimes was at the other tackle last week, and they decided to change who was going to start where. Linebackers, Gilbert, Rashid, he can fly, and Miguel Merritt. And in the secondary, good group back here. Milo Lewis at that one cornerback spot. Reggie Miles was the starting corner, but they're moving to safety because of an injury. Gerald Dixon, very young, but again, one of those young freshmen who is learning quickly. Laird straight ahead. This is Evans, and they love Heath Evans. Now, not only does he pick up the first down, Mike, he's not a 4-4, 4-5 spreader. Boy, he runs hard and a world of heart.
And Ron, you look at what Auburn's going to try to do with their lineup tonight. Heath Evans, single back. They're going to try to isolate, see how Alabama's going to play their linebackers. Rashid is going to be responsible for meeting Heath Evans in the hole most of the evening.
Daniels, as they have an empty backfield, he moves out to the right. That quick out pass. That's Robinson, Kadarius Robinson, and he is close to the first down, and let's see where they're going to spot him out.
I like what I see here of Auburn early in the ball game. Big ball game. You take some chances, you run a reverse, then you give them a formation that Alabama hasn't seen. 4 wide receivers out here. Get Ben Laird off. Tavarius Robinson, the freshman. Early good play calling by Noel Mazzoni.
Same formation, they just flip it. Got it complete. Daniels still on his feet. First down Auburn. Inside the 25. Merritt finally makes the tackle. 22 yards.
Ron, when you put 4 wide receivers to one side, that's going to give you what you want for Ronnie Daniels, number 25 on the backside. 9 TD passes already caught for the SEC lead. Ben Laird delivers him the football. Then he gets some good yardage after the catch. Alabama misses a couple tackles. Gerald Dixon missed a tackle. Finally, a tackle in the secondary by Merritt.
Daniels, pretty good sized youngster at 6'1", 211, freshman out of Lake Wales, Florida. So Auburn is driving on their first possession. Laird under pressure, lost this one, he just throws it away. And very wisely, Cooper was the closest man to it.
Ron, when Tommy Tuberville took this job and he came in here, everybody told him Ben Laird needs to transfer. He said he can't get it done here. And he said, I was almost convinced, listening to all the people, that he probably should have transferred. This young man's a great story, lost his job, has fought back, and he has not thrown an interception, 10 touchdown passes this year.
system is different, and he enjoys that. See Alabama faking the blitz in the corner. They stay at home, and the pass going to come out to Robinson. That could be recovered by Alabama. It is still loose, and the Crimson Tide will have it. That is a lateral football, and a recovery made by Kenny King. What a mistake by Robinson, as he did not go quickly after the football.
Ron, it was no doubt, too, that it was a lateral because the Robinson stepped up, then stepped back, and the ball was thrown behind Ben Laird. And alert Alabama defense went after the football. Here's the throw. Behind him, he lost the football.
Away.
He thought it was an incomplete pass. And walks away. Now he figures it out because he sees Alabama going after him.
Let me tell you something. If Reggie Miles, if they hadn't grabbed his arm, he would have scooped that up and gone for a touchdown. Alexander, no place to run. He'll have maybe 1 yard.
Great defensive job by Kenny Kelly. This is the way you take on the toss sweep. Just take on the receiver, the running back, the fullback, and the McClintock, and then stuff that play. Auburn's defense being challenged now because Alabama's got good field position on a bad mistake.
Now we talk about putting a mark, putting an asterisk by different things during the ball game. Boy, Auburn was certainly in field goal range and possibly ready to put that thing in the end zone, and in just that mental error, and it cost them dearly. We'll see if they come away with points. Zhao breaks off the tackle and is free. Zhao running hard. He'll go across midfield before Ron Tate, one of the first men to come over and make the hit on him.
Well, Leonardo Carson had a shot at him and it should have sacked him. Andrew Zhao, former run and shoot wishbone quarterback, very good running threat at 6'2", 221 pounds. The Alabama coaches don't like to see him run much, so they want him to throw the football.
11 touchdowns, 8 interceptions, completion percentage over 55.
Ron, here's where they're going to try to get Alex Lincoln. Alabama's looking for a way to get Sean Alexander and Freddie Millens against Alex Lincoln, number 43.
Going to have to hurry to get this one away. Zhao pumped it once, out in the flat very nicely, complete for the first down to Bowens. And folks, that is where Zhao has grown up so much, where he took his time, knew he had the receiver open. And Mike, when he squares and throws, that's as pretty emotion as you can see.
Ron, he's poised. As a starter, he's completed 56.7% of his passes, 22 touchdown passes.
2 of 4, 19 yards as he gets his second completion. The sophomore out of Lake Butler, Florida. Counter tray. Alexander to the right side. Going to have 5, 6, 7, and 8 yards. He'll take it to the 30. Kenny Kelly, one of the weak side linebacker, comes over to make the hit on him.
Ron, a lot of people think Chris Samuels, number 60, is the best offensive lineman in the country. Watch him lead on this play for Sean Alexander. He's going to pull a tackle, pulling, getting up inside, 298 pounds on Alex Lincoln, the middle linebacker.
Through the block and slammed him to the turf.
Oh.
Chris has been a starter for over 3 years. Alexander again, big opening, has 5, hit from behind, and he's going to have about 7 total yards as Reese will make the stop on him. And now it's a Crimson Tide first down. And we have flipped the field. It was this group here until the mistake made by Robinson when he did not go back and recover what was a lateral rather than an incomplete pass. Auburn is about to get points, and now here comes the Crimson Tide back. They have it 1st and 10 just inside the 25. Quentin Reese steps out to the side of the huddle and signals for the crowd to come to life, as they do. Alexander, nothing inside. He'll bounce it outside. Takes it inside the 20, and he's close to the 18 as Pounds makes the tackle. And let's check with Adrian Karsten.
Ron, Sean Alexander early here is making his hay between the hashes for 2 reasons. First of all, that injured ankle of his, which is close to a month old now. I was watching him pregame, and he was having some trouble running to his right and trying to cut upfield. Secondly, outside the hashes because of the crown, which is rather extreme on this field. And the rain earlier today, it's a little bit slick. They want to keep him between the hashes on this drive in the first quarter if they can.
Well, probably a pretty good plan. He has 5 carries for a total of 25 yards. As you look at his career numbers, 37 touchdowns. Gets it again behind the blocking, stiff arm inside the 15, and he will be tackled down around the 13 by Creighton and Trone.
One thing about Alabama statistically, when you look at them, when they get inside the red zone, they've been there 38 times. They've scored 34 times. So that should compute in points for this Alabama football team. And you talked about it, big turnover by Auburn. Auburn had a little momentum going, and now it swings back to Alabama.
Look at this, 34 of 38, 24 touchdowns, 10 field goals. That is an outstanding percentage as we go under 8 minutes to play in this opening quarter. Jones in motion, straight ahead. That's McClintock, the fullback. They were very close to not getting that play away. In fact, there is a flag down.
And it's going to be a personal foul, and it may be against Freddie Millen.
Dead ball foul, delay of the game against the offense, violation of the 25-second clock, 5-yard penalty, still first down.
Well, that's better than a personal foul call.
The man that you were looking at there, Rogers Redding, the referee appointed by the Southeastern Conference this evening. And as you watch Mike DeVos pacing the sideline, and he knows that that if they get points on this drive right here, that this will be a double shot because the Auburn Tigers were driving to put some kind of numbers on the board until the mistake. 1st and 15.
Well, sweep right is what Auburn thinks it's going to be. It's sweep right.
Here comes Sean Alexander, and that is the way to stop him, Creighton.
Ron,
you got to hit him low and take his feet out from under it.
From the sideline, the Auburn coaches knew something because they were yelling at the players and pointing to the right side, so it looked like it's going to be a sweep right, and it's exactly what Alabama did. Here's the play, the outside zone play. Good job by Rodney Creighton coming out of the secondary to make that tackle.
Second down, they need to take it to the 3.5-yard line. 9th play, it started at their own 46. Safety blitz is on, passes to the end zone, and it's too high. McAdley actually just inside the 10. Pass was very high as Casher had the cover.
Ron, write this play down because upstairs here in the press box, Freddie Millens is open right here. So they're going to get word the next time they get down there. He clears number 11, Kenny Kelly, over the middle. There's nobody in the middle. Freddie Millens was really the guy to throw that football to.
It's 3rd and 17.
Third down. Line to make, which we mentioned, the 3.5-yard line. Boy's got a lot of time. Right over the middle, got it complete. Not nearly enough for the first down as Alexander makes the catch.
It's a good job. And the reason he had a lot of time, Ron, 3-man rush by Auburn, heavy zone coverage, so they forced him to throw the outlet throw to Sean Alexander and make the tackle, force the field goal attempt.
Blutner, the senior out of Sarasota, will come in and attempt a 33-yard field goal. 9 of 13 on the year for him. His longest is 45. He got it right down the middle. So the mistake by Auburn cost them 3 points as Alabama gets on the scoreboard first. Timeout with 5:28 left in his opening quarter.
Which Sports Center do you watch? Mornings, evenings, late nights? Only on ESPN.
3 years ago, my IT guys told me there'd be 2 kinds of businesses. Those with a vision to master the internet and those without. And we didn't want to be the second kind. Then Dell came to see us. They showed us how to use the internet for direct relationships with our customers, suppliers, everyone who's a part of our business. With Dell's support, there's no limit to where I can take this company. We always knew we needed the internet. We just didn't know how badly.
Be direct. Dell. Dell servers use Intel Pentium 3 processors.
Hey guys, what you ordering?
Same as last week.
3 extra long chili cheese conies, add jalapenos, hold the chili with ketchup and onion.
Whoa, she's good.
I know what my customers like. One-of-a-kind stuff like our extra-long coney, topped with chili and lots of cheddar cheese. Get one now with Sonic's famous tater tots for a special low price.
Sonic America's driving.
Try our new apple pie shake. Tastes just like homemade apple pie.
Gravity, the force that holds the Earth in orbit around the sun, also holds the car to the road around a hairpin turn. But in extreme conditions, even gravity can use help. The reassuring performance of the RL with Vehicle Stability Assist from Acura.
ESPN's presentation of primetime college football is brought to you by Acura. Cars are our passion. Engineering is our art. And by ESPN Sports Centric. 100 years, 1,000 moments in bookstores now.
Part of the capacity crowd on hand here at Jordan-Hare Stadium tonight. 3-0, and that drive, well, they got the fumble recovery. To the goal line. This is Carter. Good heavens. That is really good coverage. He will not make it back. Well, he'll get to the 15, and that's it. As Jason Jones is the first man down to make a hit. And there's a break in the action. We'll take it with a 5:16 left. Opening quarter. It is Alabama 3-0.
What are your favorite moments of the millennium? A special time with family? A celebration with friends? Or one of mankind's greatest journeys? Now you can have them all on one special Kodak picture CD that's yours free. It contains all your Kodak pictures from your latest roll of film, plus excerpts from life's collection of the greatest pictures of the 20th century. Look for this free, limited-time offer at participating Kodak retailers.
Can we experience exhilaration more completely when we feel secure? The 225 horsepower TL with front and side airbags and 5-speed sequential sport shift from Acura.
Citizen Kane, take one.
Orson Welles used all his genius to create the most brilliant American film ever made.
Cut. Print.
William Randolph Hearst used all his power to try and destroy it.
Use the file.
Liev Schreiber, James Cromwell, Melanie Griffith, Brenda Blethyn, Roy Scheider, and John Malkovich.
That film will never see the light of day.
Everything I am, everything I could be is in that film.
RKO 281, coming soon, only on HBO.
Can Bomber and the Falcons make prey of the Lobos? Air Force, New Mexico at 2:30. Next Saturday on ESPN2.
So we're back. Another note on the turnover by Robinson. Officially, this is how it goes in the books. It is a rush by Robinson from -5, and then to Robinson and the team, a loss of 18 yards on the play after he lost it. And then it was recovered just short of the 50-yard line by Alabama. Keith Evans, the tailback, number 44. He gets the handoff. First encountered by Darius Gilbert. You could see number 99 go back. There's quite a wallop handed out by Evans, 230-pound sophomore out of West Palm Beach.
Ron, you go back to big games are won with big plays, and coaching staffs, when you practice something every week and you put a new formation in, I'm sure they've reminded their players, if that ball's thrown backwards, go get it because it's going to be a lateral. And Tavares Robinson just didn't react fast enough on that play.
Daniels in motion to the top of your screen. You see Alabama changing the defense and ahead of steam. That's Evans. Wow, across the 25, and he'll have the first down on that second effort as Moorhead will finally stop him.
Ron, Auburn is dead last. 114 Division I-A football teams. They're dead last running the football. They're averaging 68.2 yards a rush. And Heath Evans has said, I want the ball in my hands. If we lose, I blame myself, but I want the ball in my hands. Early tonight in this ball game, he's running very well.
You can see in the last 3 games, Mike, he's averaging 71 yards per ball game. He's got 3 carries for 17 tonight. Here he goes again, and this time he's going to be tripped up as he's grabbed by the ankle. I believe that was Grimes who grabbed him first along with Merritt, and it'll go for short yardage. You see Alabama doing a lot of changes on defense, but particularly now with the second and long, they're bringing in all kind of different people, the rush down linemen and more secondary
and they
folks.
bring Victor Ellis in, number 9. He's a mobile linebacker, and they bring him in on passing situations. They try to make some moves.
Pressure being hit as he threw, and that one is well overthrown, and Laird had somebody draped around his ankle. That was Kenny King just as he was delivering the football. One of the things that Ellis Johnson told us as we visited with the Alabama coaching staff yesterday is that if we can put pressure, keep them intact by rushing 4 and dropping 7, that's the card that we want to play. If we have to continue to send a blitz here and a blitz there, then we're playing into their hands. Third down, they need to take it to the 36.5-yard line. Laird, very cool. Ball is tipped and almost intercepted. Worthy is the man the pass was intended for.
Should have been caught.
Should have been caught. It probably should have been intercepted as well.
Yeah, after the play, but Ben Laird waited for it to open. Gets a 3-man rush by Alabama, trying to find Reggie Worthy. Waits, throws the ball right in his hands.
Well, actually, Rashid had a little bit more distance than I thought to go after it.
Dillon's is dangerous right here.
Mano, and he's going to throw the ball, and it is incomplete. And Tommy Tuberville's first trick play of the night backfires, and it may backfire big time.
Whoa.
He may have just opened the floodgates right here.
I believe he had it, though. He had what he wanted. You take a chance, but it's going to give the football to Alabama in great field position. Here's the replay. He had what he wanted. There's the fake. Ball on the outside. If it had been close, whether he would have picked up the first down.
Well, here's what's interesting. Pass is underthrown, but just as Adrian had accurately described just a moment ago,
outside the hash.
Outside the hashes, that it is slicker than it is between the hashes. Look at this formation by Alabama. Trip set to the outside. They throw a lateral to Millens, and a nice job by Auburn to make the tackle at the 25-yard line. It's going to be Fields and Pate combining there.
And Ron, you ask your defense now to come on the field. We're taking chances. We're trying to win this football game. We think Alabama may be a little bit better than us. We need to try to do some of these things. We're giving up bad field position. If we don't make it, you got to stop them right here. And that's the call of Tommy Tuberville in this defense now.
Antonio Carter, number 2, a freshman out of Tallahassee, to the top of your screen. That's Terry Jones, the tight end, who pulled back and now goes in motion. And it's Alexander. Not much doing. He'll have a couple to the right side. Haven Fields will trip him up. And let's check in for the first time tonight with Brian Kenny. Brian?
Ron, we had a new all-time rushing king in Ron Dane. We now have a single-game rushing leader in TCU's LaDainian Tomlinson. He ran for over 400 yards, first time ever, 406 yards. Sets a new 1A college football record. TCU beats Texas El Paso.
Ron, he was leading the nation up until they went out to Hawaii, and then Thomas Jones took over, but 406 yards. Unbelievable.
Unbelievable. Third down. They try to set the middle screen. There it is to Millens, and I mean Auburn had that thing figured out from the get-go. Brumbaugh was the man who smelled it out, and Jimmy was right there to make the initial contact, and now it's going to be field goal time, and if that's all Alabama gets after the muffed effort on the fake punt, then Auburn's very fortunate.
Yeah, Ron, you trade all 11 tapes, and both these coaching staffs know the tendencies of the other. They knew that screen was coming.
This is an attempt of 41 yards, far hash mark. Goodwin got plenty of distance, and he's good. So Pflugner with his second of the night, 33 and now 41, and we'll go to break with 1:20 remaining, opening quarter. Alabama 6 and Auburn nothing.
J.D. Power & Associates ranked Dodge Dakota best compact pickup in initial quality. Add all these great features, and you can see why the New South thinks so highly of Dakota. Yet this Dakota Club Cab is easily within your reach, especially with this low $209 a month lease. Get a truck with very lofty credentials, with a very down-to-earth payment. Dodge Dakota. Different.
Tomorrow's leaders are found today inside Northwest Georgia schools. Maybe they're not star students or athletes, but they're making a difference in their communities. You can help make them the CNWG 10 Student of the Week. Just pick up nomination forms at these local sponsors, high schools, or at Comcast and send them in. Then watch a closer look in 10 News Wednesdays as we honor these students. One will win a college scholarship at the end of the school year. Keep watching your hometown news team.
Is brought to you by Hoops Malone.
What's with the big sandwich, Hoop?
Hey, so I'm getting ready for tournament week.
First up, it's the Mass Mutual U game as Kevin Freeman and UConn battle Monty Mack and UMass. Then it's off to Maui where Ed Cota drives the Tar Heels against the Trojans. And later, Georgetown tackles the Tigers. UMass UConn at 7 on ESPN2, North Carolina Southern Cal at 9 on ESPN, Georgetown Memphis at 11:30 on ESPN2, Monday.
Nobody does hoops like ESPN and ESPN2.
Well, a lot of fun always at this football game. Next year, as we mentioned, it goes to Tuscaloosa. 6-0, Alabama on top as Bearden prepares to kick it off with the two deep men. You can see number 5, Robinson, and number 2, Tim Carter. Bearden comes forward. This is a line drive kick. It's going to be tough to field. In fact, it'll go in and out of the back of the end zone. Coming up tomorrow, week 11 of ESPN Sunday Night Football at 8:15 Eastern. Ricky Williams leads the Saints into Jacksonville to face Mark Brunell and the Jaguars. And then ABC's Monday Night Football, Tim Brown and the Raiders battle the Denver Broncos in an AFC West showdown. ESPN and ABC, your exclusive home for primetime NFL football. Mike Gottfried, Ron Franklin, Adrian Karsten coming to you from Jordan-Hare Stadium on the Plains. Auburn, Alabama. The Iron Bowl. Evans straight ahead, and he'll move the pile a little bit, but this gain is only about 3 as Moorhead is down at the bottom of that fray to make the tackle on him.
Last week, Ronnie Daniels was such a big player against Georgia. 249 receiving yards against Georgia, but Alabama not going to play him like Georgia played him. They're going to play off. Milo Lewis, number 21. They're not going to bump and run him. They're going to give him some room.
The line to make is the 30, indicated by the ESPN 1st and 10, presented by AMD Athlon processor. Blitz coming up the middle. Laird going to have to hurry, and his arm got hit as that one was delivered, and it was Griffin. Cornelius Griffin, who was coming after him and put a pop on Laird, and Laird shoves him away. Undoubtedly, Griffin was doing some talking with him after the play was over.
Well, it's what you talked about. Ellis Johnson wants to get a rush out of his front four. Now, if he gets it, he doesn't have to spend any linebackers in that blitz, so he can sit them back in coverage.
Third down, Auburn in a shotgun with one back with Laird. 4-man rush for Alabama. Laird gets it out in the flat, and that's going to be enough for the first down as Rusty Williams made the catch. Took it forward across the 30, and they will move the chains on the third down play. Ellis made the tackle on him.
Well, that's what a good receiver can do for you. Ronnie Daniels, he occupies 2 defenders because as he came off the ball, 2 defenders are running with Ronnie Daniels, and Rusty Williams snuck out of the backfield for the first down.
So this time, 4 wide receivers. Keith Evans is lined up behind Ben Laird. middle. And they will continue to work that, whether it goes for 2, 3, or 5 yards. If it gets 5, then that's a wonderful thing, as Jarrett Johnson will make the tackle. But they're going to continue to run that football to keep Alabama honest.
Yeah, there's no doubt they've got to get some nicks.
That is the end of the opening quarter. We'll take the timeout with them. It's the Crimson Tide 6 and the Auburn Tigers nothing in this 1999 edition of the Iron Bowl. We'll be right back.
In the name of progress, man has given up more and more control to the machines of his own creation. Perhaps it is time to take some of it back. The thoroughly exhilarating TL with 5-speed sequential sport shift from Acura.
We've just routed a bullet train directly to your office. It'll be here in 20 seconds unless you pick the PC that'll reroute the train in time. Will you choose the PC with Intel Pentium 3 or the one with the new AMD Athlon processor? Many people don't know there's a faster PC processor than Pentium 3 at any clock speed. The new AMD Athlon processor. Now you chose wrong, Dave. Too bad you didn't know about the new AMD Athlon processor. Oh, that had to hurt, huh?
Discipline creates performance. AIM funds. The idea is discipline. The purpose is performance. The name is AIM.
Are these your final numbers?
These are our final numbers.
What do you think, Jack? It looks pretty good from this end.
I never thought you guys could pull this one off.
Have we ever let you down?
Not yet. Hey, weren't you supposed to go away for your anniversary?
Oh, you know us. All work, no play.
Great job, guys. Great.
Well, back to the grind.
Thanks for the opportunity, Jack.
Nextel's i1000 Plus comes with a crystal clear speakerphone, so you can take care of business from anywhere. Nextel, how business gets done.
BarnesandNoble.com recently sent Scott Turow out with his novel to give people a chance to meet and get to know him.
Hi.
Oh, the new Scott Turow book I ordered. Thanks.
Hi. You ordered my book
Why,
yesterday?
thank you.
And I'm actually the author of the book.
Oh, the new Turow book I ordered. BarnesandNoble.com. We bring writers home.
6-0 at the end of the first quarter. One of the old things that they like to say in a ball game like this, Mike Gottfried, is no matter how big an underdog you are, when you maintain contact, which is exactly what Auburn has done, then you are very much in the football game. That's what they are as well.
In the last 3 games, Ron, Auburn, Alabama, team leading at halftime lost.
Laird with the play action. Nicely done as they get it out to Clifton Robinson. And as you can see, he is almost to the yard marker for the first down as Gilbert makes the tackle along with Miles.
And that's what we were talking about in the open, about a system quarterback. And you mentioned the change in system for Ben Laird because he knows exactly, he's operating this like a coach. Noel Mazzoni makes the play call from the sideline. Ben Laird knows this offense. Last year, lost his job, took the other 2 quarterbacks to his department every Wednesday night, taught him the offense, and just a team guy.
Here comes the pitch to Evans. Head of steam. He's going to have the first down plus about 6 yards as he'll bring it to the midfield stripe. Probably the most important thing that can be said, and the reason that Ben Laird likes this offense so much more, is because the coaches not only show that they have confidence in him, but they have to have, because this is a more read-oriented offense as far as doing audibles at the line of scrimmage. Last year, they said he may have called 3 or 4 audibles the entire year, and that was it.
Well, that's Noel Mazzoni there, but a year makes a difference in a player. You never know when the light bulb's going to go on.
I don't know about 3 or 4 in 1 year. That's what was said yesterday, but anyway, a lot more of them this season. Rusty Williams goes for very short yardage as they take it into the middle, and Rashid is right there to put the stop on him.
Yeah, 98, Ron, what you're talking about, he threw 4 touchdown passes and 7 interceptions. This year, look at that, 10 touchdown passes, no interceptions. So he's operating with comfort in this system.
Can't even say that that's quite a metamorphosis. You got to say it's even got to look for a better term. 5 of 9, 54 yards, 55 yards tonight for Ben Laird in this ball game. 6-0, Alabama leads. Sets up the screen, and boy, just as it is caught, Merritt is right there, and Miguel says, well, you guys are talking a lot about Laird, and let's talk about the Alabama defense a little bit. And he messed that one up proper.
Miguel Merritt was talking a lot this week. He said some things about Ben Laird that they were going to be after him. Screen set up right here. You cannot let number 10, Miguel Merritt, come through there. One of those linemen got to pick him off.
So it's 3rd down, and they need to take it to the 40.5-yard line. Alabama up tight, and then they drop the secondary off. Laird hit just as he throws, and he's got it complete to Daniels in the open field. And, you know, when he cut it back, I don't know if he has the first down or not. It depends on that spot.
I think he had the first down when he caught the football. He tried to make some more yards, but you almost figure Auburn's going to go for it no matter whether they make it or not. Ronnie Daniels, a great young receiver, gets bumped, sits down in the curl area, now comes back. Now he works back across the field. He had the first down, trying to get back. Marcus Spencer on the tackle. I don't think he has it, Ron. Well, just what I said, he has it.
Adrian Karsten, let's check with you on the sideline.
Ron, last week, Georgia made the suicidal mistake of trying to cover Ronnie Daniels with one single man. Alabama told us we can't let that happen. We may disguise our coverage a little bit, but we know the show with this guy really begins after he catches the ball. Last week, Ron, of the 249 yards, a lot of that, the 20 yards came after his first contact, after the first catch. So he's quite dangerous after he catches the ball.
Adrian, tonight he's 2 catches for 34 yards. Evans, he'll take it for 3. Kenny King has him around the ankle.
Ronnie Daniels is the most important member of this Auburn team as far as getting points, but Heath Evans right now is the steady guy that's picking up yardage and making this running game just enough of a threat that Alabama's got to commit one more to the run. Heath Evans looks quick coming out of his stance.
He does. He's a young man that worked his way into the lineup quickly, then suffered an injury to his foot, had to go to the bench. Like I said, the type of player that he plays with a lot of heart, and you miss his effort. Got that pass right over the middle, complete to Robinson, and Robinson made sure he caught that one. Not nearly enough for the first down. Merritt put the stop on him, and now it's going to be a 3rd down and about 7 yards. He may have lost a half yard on that play.
3rd and 7 at the 38.
So let's see what Auburn comes up with. 3 wide receivers going to the top of the screen as they are 3 of 4 on 3rd down conversions. They've converted the last 3. 4-man rush by Alabama. Pressure from the outside. Laird's pass deep over the middle. Got it complete at the 11-yard line to Daniel.
Beautiful throw. Beautiful throw by Ben Laird. Ronnie Daniels to go to a stack eye. 3 receivers stacked. Inside, the first receiver is Daniels. You see the break there. 1 on a post, 1 on a corner.
27 yards on that play, and it's first down at the 11.5-yard line for the Crimson Tide, or for the Auburn Tigers. They trail 6-0. This is Evans. Has an opening, and he'll take it down around the 7-yard line. So Auburn driving. The big play, that completed pass to Daniels just a moment ago. King and Bolden combining the stop on Evans.
This is a different football team than we saw early in the year. Alabama's going to take a timeout here, Ron. Talk it over. This has been a good drive by Auburn, and Auburn's offense gaining confidence quickly.
So we'll take the break with them. 10-13 until halftime. Alabama 6-0, and the Tigers threatening.
Sports Century Book, a great holiday gift in bookstores now.
Do rich people deserve more space than the rest of us? Was technology meant to improve their lives alone? Do the stars shine for their eyes only? Introducing the special edition Century 2000. It's the first limited edition that isn't limited to the rich.
And during Buick's Countdown to 2000 event, get this special Millennium Package offer.
The new Century 2000 by Buick, a luxury car for everyone.
State Farm presents Rules of the Game.
Today we're talking about offensive holding, one of the most frequently called violations in football. What's the penalty yardage for this infraction?
I'm Buzz, and
I'm Shirley Mozzolini.
And that's Shirley.
We're people. We switched the autos to State Farm because I was tired of punching numbers. We dialed a 1-800 number, hit an asterisk, hit a pound sign, and never did know who we were talking to.
They don't have to hit a pound sign to talk to me.
When I need to call my agent at State Farm, he knows who I am, and I know who he is.
I can talk to Gary like a friend.
I even insure their golf cart.
Like a
good neighbor, State Farm is there. We're talking about one of the most frequently called violations in football, offensive holding. The penalty is either 10 yards or half the distance to the goal.
Rules of the Game has been brought to you by State Farm. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. ESPN's presentation of primetime college football is brought to you by Century by Buick, a luxury car for everyone. And by Circuit City, answers in every department, low prices all over the store. Sanford Hall, probably it is the most notable building on campus, and we are across the street in the hotel at the University Center. You can hear that clock chiming throughout the night and day. Really a beautiful old establishment. Situation. The ball is at the 7-yard line. It is second down, and Auburn can pick up a first at the 1.5. Wants to throw it back, and he does. Wide open, touchdown Diamond.
Diamond's going to go down right here. He's down on the ground right now. Everybody loses him.
Extra point attempt by Duvall is up, and it's good. 10:06 left until halftime, and our new score, Auburn 7 and Alabama 6.
What is it? What is it? What is it?
So, what is it?
It's Toshiba HD TV.
Toshiba Digital makes home entertainment new all over again. See more, hear more, feel more. With the world's first HD TV with power focus technology. Toshiba Digital, the power to bring people together again.
No, it's too red. Too dark. Going to be perfect.
You can get enough orange and blue to last a season at Lucas Paints in Denver, but bring your Visa card because they don't take American Express. Visa is everywhere NFL fans want to be.
When we re-engineered the all-new 2000 LeSabre, we gave it more standard safety features for you and your family than any other car in its class. Plus, the best gas mileage in its class. Come in during Buick's Countdown to 2000 event and see why Buick LeSabre has been America's best-selling full-size sedan for 8 years running. The all-new 2000 LeSabre. Drive one at your Buick dealer now.
It's the Rebels and Bulldogs on Thanksgiving. Somebody's going home with a heaping helping of humble pie.
Ole Miss, Mississippi State at 8, Thursday on ESPN.
Now these folks wearing the Auburn colors are aroused following that touchdown pass to Lorenzo in the end zone. By the way, that is Auburn's third longest in plays as far as a drive this season. It was a 14-play drive to the end zone. Covered 80 yards, 6 minutes and 14 seconds. That other drive that they had a mistake on, the turnover, that was a 6-play drive. So the offense has been able to put together some stuff that has been very substantial against this good Alabama defense. This is Richard. Wow, Pollard as he goes out at the 22-yard line. And it's Tavares Robinson who will make the tackle on him. Well, coming up on Thursday on ESPN, another tremendous rivalry as number 16 Ole Miss visits Wayne Matkin and 15th ranked Mississippi State for the 96th renewal of the Egg Bowl. Bulldogs looking for consecutive Thanksgiving night victories. Coverage begins at 7:30 Eastern with Thursday game night right here on ESPN, your home for Bowl week. You look at Eddie, at Freddie Millens as he lines up way out on the left side. Sean Alexander, the lone setback behind Andrew Zhao. Zings it out to Millens. Nice move on the corner, and because of that, he just left Nolan. Antoine Nolan is a man that he just faked right around, and with that, he picks up the first down.
Well, Freddie Millens is from Starkville, Mississippi. Ronnie Cottrell, when he was hired, went to visit Freddie Millens. He was headed to the University of Florida, and Alabama got him turned around, and they got a great player in Freddie Millens.
Sean Alexander, big opening, and he will have 5, maybe 6 yards. Marcus Washington closes up the hole rapidly. As they say, his knee went down at the 39.
What you have here for Alabama is a misdirection play. They're going to take the fullback and bring him this way and block the linebacker, and then Alexander's going to get the ball going the other way. So that gets the linebackers to move to the right because that's the way Sean Alexander's moving, and then McClintock gets a good block on the linebacker.
9 rushes, 36 yards for Sean so far in this game tonight. They fake it to him. Zhao zings it over the middle, got it complete to Jones, the tight end. And they have really gotten where they like these two big targets. That's a gain of 15 because Jones is 6'4", 264, only a sophomore. And Sean Draper, number 38, is 6'4", 294, a junior out of Birmingham.
Oh, you like two big tight ends because they can block for you out of the tight end position in the running game, and then they catch the ball very well.
Well, his daddy is the strength coach at Tuscaloosa for Alabama. Alexander with one of the blocks to give Andrew Zhao time to throw the football. 4-man rush right over the middle, and Jones is going to drop that one. Hesitated just enough, Andrew did, and he threw it low. And one of the things about having these giant tight ends, don't want to throw it below their waist because they have a little trouble bending. They're not quite as limber as those little wide receivers.
Yeah, that's a mistake by Andrew Zhao. You saw him point to himself. I think he was looking down the field trying to get something big, but he had Jones wide open over but he just didn't set and throw the ball.
That's Draper,
trying to push it.
The other tight end who's standing on the sideline. 6'4", 294. Two pretty good-sized lads playing a tight end spot. Pressure on Zhao, and he throws that one low for Alexander. And it's a good thing. If Sean had caught that, there were 1, 2, 3, 4 blue jerseys around him.
Talked about early in the ball game, Marcus Washington against Dante Ellington, freshman, and Marcus Washington got around the corner, bothered Andrew Zhao a little bit, forced him to move to the left, and that caused the incomplete pass. Because Marcus Washington around the corner, he beats Ellington, makes Andrew Zhao move up in the pocket. On the run, he missed that throw.
3rd down and 10. Bowens comes in as wide receiver. As you look at Marcus Washington going into his stance. Zhao, good protection this time, and he goes long. And there's nice coverage outside by Creighton. Devarius Pounds is the man who put pressure. Pounds is the guy who got Zhao just as the ball was delivered, and Creighton was there step for step. And a standing ovation from these folks from Auburn for their defense. Second punt of the night as Patrick Morgan comes out. And the Crimson Tide better be careful right now because they are allowing Auburn, or Auburn is allowing themselves to take all kind of momentum in this football game. Best punt of the night, very high. And the spiral is going to hit and go into the end zone. So there's a break. We'll take it with them. 8:15 remaining until halftime. Auburn 7, Alabama 6.
It raises expectations about what a minivan can be. With features like a powerful V6 engine, dual sliding doors, and an optional 10-speaker CD stereo system. Then we added one more thing. Values up to $2,250 that make the Chrysler Town & Country unexpectedly affordable. Chrysler Town & Country, now with up to $2,250 in total values.
Cartersville Jewelry Exchange can sell you quality gold and diamond jewelry for about the same prices we sold to jewelers across the country.
Cartersville Jewelry Exchange will sell you a 1/4 carat solitaire for only $59, a 1 carat man's cluster for only $199, or a 3 carat tennis bracelet for only $289.
Our diamond prices will be half the price of most jewelry stores. I guarantee you will see the difference. Remember, there's nothing romantic about paying too much.
Cartersville Jewelry Exchange in the Walmart Low Center near I-75, exit 125.
People think I live a pampered life, but I work hard to keep up my business. For example, no matter how late I was out the night before or how much I want to hit that snooze button, I always manage to wake up first thing in the morning and catch that 11 a.m. Sports Center.
Powering up. He got it. 3 homers in 3 games in Fernando Tatis to start the season.
It's not easy, but it's all about commitment.
7-6, Auburn leads it. 8:15 remaining until intermission. And the Iron Bowl by location. Birmingham, Bama leads it 33-18-1. Montgomery tied 2-2. Tuscaloosa, Auburn 2-0. Auburn 4-0. Next year heads to Tuscaloosa. Let's see if the Auburn Tigers can pick it up where they left off on the last drive. Their third longest of the season as far as plays. They kept the ball for 14 plays. Laird pumped it once, now going to go long, and it is tipped. Milo Lewis was the closest man to it.
I think it's holding. It's going to be holding in the secondary on Alabama, I believe.
We have holding against the defense. The foul was against an eligible receiver. 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. Automatic first down.
Well, Adrian talked about how Georgia played Auburn last week, but here's the problem. You got 3 receivers up the top. Tony Dixon's got to favor these 3 receivers on this side. Leaves one-on-one on the backside for Ronnie Daniels against Milo Lewis. So he's working against Milo Lewis. Milo Lewis grabs and reaches out and holds Ronnie Daniels to stop him.
First down at the 30, and a quick out pass. That's to Markeith Cooper. Markeith dancing around nicely is going to have, let's see, they're going to spot him out enough for the first down. Miles finally made the tackle. Adrian Karsten, what do you have for us?
Ron, I am watching a lack of depth on defense for Alabama begin to make a difference here. All the time that the defensive line has to rush the passer, then after the completion, then they got to chase. The holding in the defensive backfield, I just saw Merritt and Cox come in to spell the 2 previous defensive backs. They don't have a lot of people they can replace with, Ron. I mean, first, second team guys. If they have to pass rush all night long, fatigue is going to set in.
Well, we'll certainly keep an eye on that because it is a big problem with these long drives by Auburn. Keith Evans, left side, has 5, 8, and 9. almost enough for the first down. They'll spot him down just shy of the 50-yard line as Dixon and Miles made the tackle. And Heath is the cry from the Auburn faithful. But this young man is one of those guys, as we described early, does not have a great burst of speed, but is quick enough and hits the hole hard enough. He has been a very effective runner so far this evening. 10 carries, 48 yards for Evans. He'll give it to him again, and he's going to have the first down. You can see Rashid being driven back. Spencer also coming over to try to help out. But this right here is just what the football doctor ordered, and that is to hold on to the football, keep Andrew Zile and Sean Alexander in the offense off the field, and work against, as Adrian talked about, a very thin and now becoming tired Alabama defense. Evans gets a breather. Rusty Williams, number 3, will check in for him. Senior, Moncks Corners, South Carolina, number 3. Quick pass, Daniels. You see the blockers in front, and he'll take it out of bounds. They will step in at the 38-yard line, just out of bounds. Brian Kenny, what do you have for us?
Ron, we got Georgia and Ole Miss here, and Deuce McAllister with a tremendous game so far for Ole Miss. Already with a 100-yard kickoff return for a touchdown. He's breaking this off as well. 84 yards all the way in. It's 17-9. Georgia, though, has a 3rd and goal right now in the 4th quarter.
Well, I'll tell you what, that is really a great job by David Cutcliffe. If he wins tonight, he's got an opportunity, if he could beat Mississippi State, to go 9-2 in his first year in Oxford. Pretty doggone impressive. Evans will take it inside the 40 to the 37. Gilbert there to make the tackle.
A good job by Darius Gilbert coming around the backside and making the tackle on Heath Evans. But by Auburn running Heath Evans, it slows down the pass rush. That's been the most effective tool they've used there here in the first half.
If you just joined us, Auburn 7, Alabama 6. We have just gone under 6.5 minutes left until halftime. 3rd down, the line to make is the 34 of Alabama. It's Worthy in motion at the top of the screen. Pass is caught as Williams is falling, and it's a first down Auburn. They keep the drive going.
Ben Laird bobbled the ball on the direct snap, still got a hold of it and was able to get the ball out in the flat to Rusty Williams. Snap, not exactly handled cleanly, but he gets the ball, sets it, throws out in the flat. Rusty Williams with the catch. Moving those sticks, and another good drive by Auburn.
Well, we mentioned they had 14 plays on the last drive. They have already run 7 plays on this drive. 12 of 16, 109 yards, and a touchdown for Ben Laird. Williams, they just got him out of the backfield. Cox comes over to make the tackle. But right now, they are just taking this Crimson Tide defense apart.
He wanted to go downfield to Rodney Daniels, but he was open but late. Dumped the ball off to Rusty Williams.
Well, the line to make is the 21-yard line, indicated by ESPN 1st and 10, presented by AMD Athlon Processor. Running very hard, and he'll have 1. Now it's 3rd down and decision time. Do you run it or do you put it in the air? Because they're still going to have about 3 yards to pick up the first. Merritt defensively.
A good job also by Salim Rashid, the freshman linebacker that 2 weeks ago was an outside linebacker. They had some injuries. They had to move him inside. Best player in high school football last year in Alabama. Leads Alabama in tackles with 72 coming into tonight.
3rd down. Alabama shows blitz. They stay at home. 4-man rush. Got the pass complete to Worthy, and it is an Auburn first down. At the 15-yard line, Auburn continuing to move the football as Bolden finally pushed him out.
Ben Laird just knows where to go with the football. Look at the cushion out here, right here. So he knows he's got the first down just on a quick hitch to the outside. He leads the ball to the outside for Worthy. Finally, Bowden made the tackle, but a perfectly thrown football.
Laird this quarter, 8 for 8, 75 yards. Blitz right up the middle. Got that incomplete to Cooper, and he will score. Glances at the scoreboard and the replay by the Crimson Tide faithful, because all of a sudden this game has been taken over by Auburn as DeBall kicks the extra point up and through. And let's take a timeout with 4:46 left until halftime. And our new score, the Auburn Tigers 14 and the Alabama Crimson Tide 6, as you look at Markeith Cooper one more time with the second Tiger touchdown.
Taco Bell introduces the chalupa.
Ooh.
With a shell so crispy.
Ay, ay, ay.
So flaky.
Oh.
So chewy and tasty.
Hurt me.
You'll wonder why we put anything in them at all.
Por favor, drop the chalupa.
Get your hands on one now for just 99 cents. If you don't love it, we'll give you your money back. Only at Taco Bell.
They're back. 4 new Chihuahuas are looking for love. Get yours now at Taco Bell.
My driving test kind of got off to a bad start.
On calls like this, you want to talk a while. That's why it's always a good idea to dial 10-10-321.
Well, I thought I was in first.
With 10-10-321, you save 50% on calls over 10 minutes. But that's just 8 cents a minute, day or night.
I was supposed to turn on the blinker.
And no monthly fees. And at 50% off, you can go on and on and on.
So finally, I pull out of the parking space.
Talk as long as you want with 10-10-321.
What sets the digital world in motion? TI Programmable DSP, a technology that creates new markets with crystal clear images, new ways to envision the future. And when new generations evolve, rather than retool and replace, you can simply reprogram. Hardware, software, open thinking. It's the driving force of the digital world. From the world leader in DSP and analog, Texas Instruments.
Well, they're pretty excited, and they should be, because their ball club has totally yanked the momentum away from Alabama after the Crimson Tide led 6-0.
Well, Ben Laird is looking over to the side. That's a dummy call right here. He knows he's got man-for-man coverage, and he's got Markeith Cooper, number 17. Now, here he is working out, clear out, clear out. Tony Dixon has coverage on Markeith Cooper, but he's too far away, and that's why Auburn gets the touchdown. Another good call by Ben Laird.
10 plays, 70 yards. Listen to this. In the second quarter, Auburn, 20 plays. Alabama's only had 8 snaps. Alabama needs to hold on to the football, A, to score and get back in it, but B, to give the defense a rest. This line drive kick is going to bounce 6 yards deep in the end zone. Coming up this week after Thanksgiving, college basketball's top 2 conferences go head-to-head in the inaugural ACC Big Ten Challenge. 9 games in 2 days starting Tuesday, November the 30th. All can be seen on ESPN, ESPN2, or ESPN Regional. Log on to ESPN.com to play the ACC Big Ten Challenge pick'em game for a trip to this season's ACC or Big Ten tournament.
Alabama's got to get Sean Alexander, and they got to get Millens the football.
There's Alexander. Jones trying to block in front, but yet Leonardo Carson is there to make the tackle. Let's check in with Brian Kenny.
Ron, back to Georgia and Ole Miss. When we last left, it was 17-9. Georgia with the football here, knocking on the door. Quincy Carter, plenty of time, gets it to Terrence Edwards, makes it 17-15. They're going for 2, try to tie this up. Carter again to Mike Greer. They get it, all tied up. 7 and change left, 17-17.
situation, just under 4:10 to play until halftime. Zhao on second down throws the strike to Millens, and that will quiet the crowd for the moment as they will pick up the first down at the 32.
Ron, I believe on Sean Alexander, he's got one rush, and one pass catch. So he's got to get more involvement. Freddie Millens made that good catch. They've got to get him the football. Those are the two big playmakers for Alabama. And Sean Alexander catches the ball very well out of the backfield.
Fake the screen to one side, gets it back to the other, and Alexander going to be hit from behind by Washington on a nice defensive play. Nobody was fooled by on the Auburn side of the football.
And they know that they're going to try to get the ball to Sean Alexander because he's not touching it enough here in the first half. Marcus Washington, Leonardo Carson sitting, waiting for the screen. Linebacker Haven Fields, he reads it right away, but the support and pursuit inside, Marcus Washington's having a big first half.
Auburn 14, Alabama 6, as we're about to go into 3 minutes left until halftime. Zhao looking deep over the middle, and it is intercepted. Casher. And he was a mile over the head of the intended receiver.
Larry Casher read Freddie Millens coming down the football field. And he looked and saw where Andrew Zhao was going to try to fit the ball in to Millens, and he picked it off. There's Freddie Millens coming over the middle. There's the interception. Casher saw it, saw Millens coming over the middle. Sean Alexander's in the same area. You got two receivers right here in the same area. Casher picks the football off.
Kelly, the player, is shaken up. Boy, as you could see, though, that ball was thrown high and away from the receiver.
Had to be a busted route, too. Sean Alexander, he or Millens shouldn't have been in that area.
Zhao to the sideline to talk with his offensive coaches. And I'll tell you, this could get very serious right here should Auburn punch this thing in the end zone before halftime. Laird steps up after he pumped, delivers it in an incomplete. Daniels double covered on the play as Miles came over to take his arm away from him just as the ball got there. Also, Milo Lewis trying to help out.
I don't know if you want to be ahead or behind at half, because the last 3 years the team being ahead has lost the football game. But come in this game, I'd rather be ahead and take my chances.
Evans hit in the backfield this time, and it's going to be Grimes, number 98, who spearheads that movement. And now Auburn will play with a third down and long situation. They've got to take it all the way to the Alabama 36-yard line.
Big for Alabama. Grimes got inside of the offensive tackle on the right side. Castro to make that play to force this long yardage situation. Alabama, Ron, is going to say, in the last 3 games have had 9 interceptions.
Laird calls a timeout. Wants to talk it over with the coaches with 2:23 showing on the clock. So we'll take it with him. And as we go to break, let's look at the interception one more time. The pass that is thrown high, and Casher skies to make the interception.
The Southeastern Conference setting the standard. Unprecedented year in athletic and academic achievements. 12 member institutions committed to excellence and the promise of the future. The Southeastern Conference, where champions are made.
Bunch of Tigers on the near sideline as they lead it 14-6 and just over 2 minutes to play until halftime. Time is whistled back in, and here's the situation. They lead it by 8. They have a 3rd down and 10, and they need to take it down to Bama's 36-yard line. Mike DeBose pacing the sideline. Auburn has made their last 6 3rd down conversions. Pressure on the outside, and Laird gets whacked down by Miles. First time that they've gotten to him tonight.
Big call by Ellis Johnson, the defensive coordinator. Brings Reggie Miles from the top of the screen. Ronnie Daniels didn't get off on the play. He was late, like he didn't even hear the play or see the ball move. Miles sacks Laird and takes him out of field goal range.
He is very fortunate that he did not turn over the football, because he may have felt the player coming, but he did not look at him until Miles was all over him. And there's a timeout on the field, so it gives us an opportunity to check in with Brian Kenny. Brian?
Ron, coming up on the Buick halftime report, we've got highlights of Florida and Florida State in the swamp. Penn State with a comeback bid falling short. 3 straight losses to end the regular season for the Nittany Lions. And, of course, Chris Lee and Kirk have a report from the swamp. Rod Gilmore will join me at the Buick halftime report.
Well, Penn State, they just struggled at the end of the season.
That's an amazing thing with that defense and as many kids as they had returning. Really a surprising situation, because I remember we talked as we left the stadium after having them against Kentucky last year in the Outback Bowl on January the 1st. We said, well, they had like 78 guys returning, and we figured they had to be the preseason #1 pick, which they were, but 3 straight losses for the Nittany Lions. How about the win by Florida State today? We'll talk more about that in the second half, but their reservations are made for New Orleans. Wobbly kick taken by Millens. Tries to get out of bounds, and he does, just shy of the 25. 39 yards on the kick and 7 on the return. And now let's see what kind of 2-minute drill Alabama has, because literally that's what's on the clock. 2 minutes remaining till halftime.
And they got 1 timeout. They burned a couple timeouts on defense. They burned one of them when the drive by Auburn was going well. So they still have 1 left here to work with.
$112 yards for the Alabama offense tonight. 54 rushing, 58 passing. Zhao zings that one complete at the 31-yard line as McAdley, who started the night off with a catch, makes the reception there at the 30.
They're going to go no huddle, and Andrew Zhao now trying to spray the ball around a little bit. Auburn playing with a lot of a cushion right here, allowing the underneath catch.
Yep, those safeties have dropped off very, very deep. Way in the flat, it is caught as the attempted interception was made by Casher, but Bowens made the catch. And I don't have to tell you how dangerous that throw was.
Everybody in here with a sigh, because Larry Casher had a shot at it. And if he picks that one off, he adds some more points. Good-looking corner, Larry Casher. Watched him all year. He's very good man-to-man cover guy. Plays very good in zone. 4 interceptions this year. Make it 5.
Need to take it to the 36. Here's the running play, and Alexander's going to have it out at the 41. Haven Fields on the stop. And now they got to hustle. 1:22, the clock about to be started again.
Now you're always in practice with every practice on Thursday. 2-minute drill. Coach says you have 1 timeout and work the ball down the field. So they've done this 25 times this year.
Pressure. Zhao hit by Washington and sacked. First time that they have gotten to him tonight. Boy, that's huge.
Both staffs worried about this mismatch. Auburn felt good about Marcus Washington. Alabama concerned about Dante Ellington, number 65. Washington having his way the first half. Coming right around the corner. See, he beats him right now. Ellington gets his hands on him, and he comes back and makes the tackle on Zhao.
You know, the other thing, Mike, is actually he could have helped that young tackle, though, had he stepped up even quicker, because he stayed there so very long. He allowed the angle to be much, much easier for Washington.
But Washington did a very good job of redirecting. Once he got around Dante Ellington, then he redirected and made the hit on Andrew Zhao.
So in this football game tonight, it's been the Auburn Tigers who have taken away the momentum about midway through the first quarter. And right now, they're still holding on to it.
They've got the momentum. They're playing very well on offense and defense. But Alabama's still in this football game. They're not doing very well on offense with their play calling. I think what they're trying to do, they're trying to spray the ball around. They're looking for a big play. But Alexander has been silent in the first half.
Well, I mean, I'm certainly not saying they're out of the ballgame. My point is, though, that Auburn has wrestled away the momentum and not allowed them to take it back. And when you've got a guy like Alexander, you got to go to the well and use the horse. Here they get him out on the flat, one-on-one. That's a nice job defensively by Rob Pate.
Good tackle, good open field tackle by the junior safety.
So it's 3rd down and 12 following that sack. Alabama looking at a situation as the clock runs down to 38 and now 37. Zhao throws it very low. Buchanan, the intended receiver, and now with 32 seconds left, Auburn gets an opportunity to get the football back. Jimmy Brumbaugh comes to the sideline, one of the veteran defenders that this Auburn crowd giving a standing ovation to, as Alabama will punt for the 3rd time tonight. End over end. And takes an Alabama bounce out of bounds just inside the 25. Well, coming up next Saturday on ESPN, game day at 11 Eastern. Then it's Pitt at West Virginia in the backyard brawl. And in the evening, the Wyoming Cowboys visit San Diego State. Over on ESPN2, Matt Farmer, the Air Force Falcons taking on New Mexico at 2:30. It's all here on ESPN and ESPN2, your home for bowl week.
The last 7 games in this series have been won by the home team. Auburn sitting in good shape at this point.
Sean Alexander, and he has to wonder, just as we are wondering, why he has not been more a part of the game plan for the Crimson Tide in the first 30 minutes. Evans, he'll keep it on the ground, and Tommy Tuberville wants to head to the locker room with this 8-point lead. They don't have to regroup. They just got to keep on doing what they've been doing in this first 30 minutes, which has been doing it very well. So at halftime, as Mike said, it's not always the best to be on top, because Alabama trailed by 3 in 96. Auburn, well, you can see what happened, and the guy leading at halftime has not won the last 3 years. Our score at halftime is Auburn 14 and Alabama 6. Now with the Buick halftime report, here's Brian Kenny and Rodney Gilmore.
All right, Rod, thank you very much. This is a team that beat Florida. This is a team that manhandled Southern Miss, the Conference USA champ. Does a quarterback mean that much? Auburn, impressive offensively.
Oh, yeah, yeah, absolutely. Quarterback does mean that much. And when you think about this guy, he's not only doing it on offense, but he helps the defense. When your quarterback plays like that, it makes you freer on defense to know that you can play loose and you don't have to get a shutout. And the Auburn defense is taking chances and flying around, and I think it's because of Laird's impact.
You know, Ben Laird said he wanted to play between the hedges last week. He wouldn't miss that game. He had the concussion 3 weeks ago. He wasn't missing this one either. Very impressive opening start here for the first half for the Auburn Tigers taking on Alabama. We got Florida State and Florida. Chris Wenke throwing wild in the swamp. Mighty Gators, though, would take it down to the very final play. More on Spurrier when we come back.
Gardner! We've just routed a bullet train directly to your office. It'll be here in 20 seconds unless you pick the PC that'll reroute the train in time. Will you choose the PC with Intel Pentium 3 or the one with the new AMD Athlon processor? Many people don't know there's a faster PC processor than Pentium 3 at any clock speed. The new AMD Athlon processor. Now you chose wrong, Dave. Too bad you didn't know about the new AMD Athlon processor. Oh, that had to hurt, huh?
When we re-engineered the all-new 2000 LeSabre, We gave it more standard safety features for you and your family than any other car in its class. Plus, the best gas mileage in its class. Come in during Buick's Countdown to 2000 event and see why Buick LeSabre has been America's best-selling full-size sedan for 8 years running. The all-new 2000 LeSabre. Drive one at your Buick dealer now.
Discipline creates performance. AIM funds. The idea is discipline. The purpose is performance. The name is AIM.
This halftime report is presented by the all-new 2000 LeSabre by Buick. Re-engineered to be safer than ever.
It is rivalry week. We're here on the Buick Halftime Report. So many great games today. The big one, of course, Florida State and Florida. Florida State leads Florida 6-4 with one tie in the 90s, which is what really counts because that's when Steve Spurrier stepped in. 2 years ago, the Seminoles had a perfect season going into the swamp, had their national title bid ruined by that man, Steve Spurrier, who was 4-6 against that man, Bobby Bowden, who at the age of 70 trying to get the Seminoles their first unbeaten season. Peter Warrick, instant impact, Rod.
Shotgun situation, get him the ball, remove the quarterback, and he responds with a touchdown.
7-0 Florida State. It was an 18-play, 80-yard drive. Third quarter, it's 13-9. Chris Wenke picked off by Benny Alexander. He's going back 43 yards. Florida taking the lead back. Huge momentum swing, 16-13 Gators. But Seminoles blocked a punt, and driving from there, Jeff Chaney running this in 2 yards away. Flag was on Florida. Touchdown good. It's 23-16. Fourth quarter. Florida driving. Doug Johnson looking, tried to force it, Rob.
He never looked comfortable the entire day. The quarterback rotation didn't work for him. 2 interceptions, that one a key one in the fourth quarter.
He was 20 for 36 for 214 yards, but it's 23-16 Florida State driving here. Chris Wenke to Marvin Minnis. Wenke was 24 for 36 for 263 yards. It's 30-16. Florida's last chance. Now it's 30-23. Jesse Palmer airs it out. This very close, Rod.
Almost a critical mistake by Florida State. They didn't knock it down. Florida had a shot at catching that one.
Very close. We've seen those land before, but Bobby Bowden still unbeaten, looking for his first perfect season. 30-23 is the final. Florida State, the only team to win twice at the Swamp this decade. Just the fourth loss at home under Steve Spurrier. The Gators, of course, have the SEC championship remaining. Now, Florida State trying to go number one wire to wire. It'll be 13 polls next week. Since the preseason poll began in 1950, no team has gone wire to wire number one, including that preseason poll. Nebraska lost in the Orange Bowl back in '83, went for 2. Tom Osborne, remember, went for 2 in the win against Miami and Bernie Kosar. I throw in here Notre Dame in '43 and Army back in 1945 were both wire to wire. Only 9 polls in those seasons. I think what we see here and all day, you know, if it's the old Oaken bucket or if it's at the very top with Florida State, the big games bring out the best. These two teams have both struggled this year. That was a great game today.
Great. A lot of games were great today, and you're right. You know, just the best brought out by everybody and each other. Florida State, I think they turned it on today. We wondered if they could do it. I think it was the best performance by Florida State this season, notwithstanding what they did last week. Corey Simon, in particular, stepped up and had a great game. Conversely, I think we saw what we saw with Florida's offense the last 2 or 3 weeks. They're just not together. They don't have a rhythm. The quarterback rotation today didn't help them, and it cost them, too. I really think they would have been better off sticking with one quarterback for a lot longer today.
And yet it came down to the final bounce that almost bounced into one of the Gators' hands.
Absolutely.
That could have changed things quite a bit. Meantime, Florida State struggling through the first half through the previous 4 games before the Maryland win, but here they get the big win. Let's go live to the Swamp. Chris Fowler, Kirk Herbstreit, and Lee Corso are there. Chris, take it away.
Well, Brian, 150 miles from Tallahassee, but you can color Gainesville garnet and gold as these folks begin to think about New Orleans. I agree with Rodney. This team today justified its ranking. Is it one of the great teams in Florida State history? Probably not. I don't think it's as good as the 93-96 team.
3 catches, but they keep him bottled up. And Sean Alexander just hasn't had any running room. Here he's going to run the zone play on the outside, see how well it's blocked, but secondary comes up, makes the play. Then they throw the screen. Leonardo Carson and Washington make the tackle on him. Then I believe this is a wrong route down the field where he and Millens are in the same area. So Sean Alexander has not been able to get untracked in the first half, and Andrew Zhao didn't play like the Andrew Zhao that's played every other ball game for Alabama. He's a little high on his throws.
Well, when you look at the Bama second quarter numbers, 16 plays, 4 rush, 12 passes for a total of 51 yards. And that is where the door was closed, actually. So Auburn leading 179 to 124 in total yardage on the ball game as Bearden prepares to kick it off. And we will open this third quarter of his 1999 Iron Bowl. Picked up at the 3-yard line by Carter. Breaks by the first wave and makes it almost out to the 30-yard line. And let's check in with Adrian Karsten. Adrian?
Ron, the Alabama defense on the field as we speak plans to blitz Auburn more in the second half. They figure they have to do as much as they possibly can, as often as they can, to get to Ben Laird. Now, you need to understand that what was heard next did not come from the coaches. Cornelius Griffin then thought to himself and then said, that's our chance to get Ben Laird out of this game. Remember, he was out 5 weeks with a separation of the shoulder. He had the concussion. Miguel Merritt's tough words earlier this week. They're going after Ben Laird, but remember, in every game that Ben has started and finished this year, they're 4-0.
Keith Evans breaks off a couple of tackles and will have the Auburn first down up the sideline. Lewis shoved him out.
Auburn starts out the second half just like they started out the first quarter. They're running the ball very well. Said they were 114th in Division I football, rushing the football. Success tonight against this Alabama defense that's trying to rush up hard to get to Ben Laird.
Evans resets and they go shotgun. He gets the handoff, takes it right up the middle, and it's going to be stopped after a gain of 4 this time by Griffin. Crowd loves it every time he carries it. There are no boos. It's for Heave.
Alabama, Adrian was saying, was going to blitz a little bit more. They had success just before the half with Reggie Miles, bringing him out of the secondary blitzing. But this running game is hurting the Alabama defensive plan. Here they come.
Alabama shows blitz, possibly an audible here by Laird. They come with the blitz off the corner. Quick throw over the middle. The hot route was for Daniels, and it's thrown incomplete. Defensively for Alabama, Gilbert with 5 tackles, along with Miles with 5, and Spencer with 4. They are the statistical leaders defensively in the first half for the Alabama Crimson Tide.
I think just what Adrian Karsten said is going to happen here in the second half. I think Alabama has to make something happen. You're going to see more and more blitzes out of the linebacker and the secondary.
Markeith Cooper out on the flat. Across midfield, and they push him out at the 48. Spencer on the tackle, but that's enough for the first down.
Well, when you get the ball outside right there, the receivers, Markeith Cooper makes the catch, but Reggie Worthy and the 2 receivers are going to do a good job of blocking. Tavares Robinson, and you see Robinson there, number 5, and you see Worthy, number 4, and that creates the running room for the first down. Here's the blocking again, right here. 2 good jobs by Robinson and Worthy.
16 of 22, 148 yards, and 2 touchdowns for Laird as Rusty Williams gets the handoff. Rusty is inside the 45 to the 44. Griffin defensively for Alabama. And what's happening here in this third quarter, as we are about to have played the first couple of minutes, is Auburn is picking up where they left off, and that is maintaining control of the football.
Well, Noel Mazzoni's doing an excellent job of calling the game tonight because he has Alabama off count and everything defensively.
Quick pass. Daniels loses the ball, but he lost it out of bounds as Tony Dixon made the tackle on him and stripped him.
Alabama a little confused in the secondary, too. as I looked at Reggie Miles looking to the sideline, trying to explain to the coaches what's happening a little bit out there, and Ellis Johnson just trying to settle his ball club down. A little quick passing game by Ben Laird. Good blocking by the receivers. Moving the chains.
Interesting that Noel Mazzoni told us yesterday, he said, we're not a ball control team, but you couldn't disprove that tonight, Mike.
No.
Daniels 5 catches, 72 yards.
No, you're right. They've had drives. They've done everything offensively.
I think that's been a major part of the frustration since about late in the first quarter to early in the second quarter for Alabama is the fact that they haven't taken that many snaps.
No. Their offense, and when Alabama goes in on offense in the second half, I'll be interested to watch Andrew Zhao, because I think they're just a little bit away from bringing in Tyler Watson this football game.
Well, they're loosening him on the sideline.
I would not be surprised if they make that move, because Andrew Zhao was very high with his throws in the first half.
Laird with the quarterback sneak. He'll have the first down plus a few.
Ron, going back to Andrew Zhao, when you don't hit the passes that they're throwing because of their spread offense, then that doesn't open up Sean Alexander, and so it's been a combination of incomplete passes, not getting the ball to Alexander so he can get open.
Well, the other thing is, like we talked about, the sack, where he did not step up. He did not react real quickly right toward the end of the first half, which cost them in their 2-minute drill. Almost as if he was not quite as sharp in that first half.
He wasn't sharp.
8th play of the drive for Auburn. Free play here. And that pass incomplete. Markeith Cooper, the intended receiver.
I watched Hart McGarry, 75, move. Now, I don't know if they're going to call this on Alabama. They may call it on Kendall Moorhead, but McGarry, the left guard, moved. He was rocking. There's no doubt that...
no play. We have a dead ball foul. False start.
That's a good call.
Movement in the offensive line prior to the snap. 5-yard penalty is still first down.
That's a good call. McGarry, number 75, he rocks back, and that brings Kendall Moorhead moving. And a good call by the officials.
So it's first down at 15. New line of scrimmage is the 40. That's the first Auburn penalty tonight. Caught by Cooper, and then he got blasted immediately by Lewis.
Ron again. Ben Laird checks out of this play, throws the ball to Markeith Cooper, gets Alabama into defense they want. But Ronnie Daniels is open deep again. Ben Laird's going to make this throw. But look at Daniels right here. He clears both the defenders, and he's open, and they may come back to that. Markeith Cooper with a little short gain. A little short loss.
I'm not sure he got the play off, but there's so much noise, hard to hear the whistle.
No flag.
And as soon as it is complete to Cooper, he is tackled by Spencer.
Ben Laird real close to not getting that play off. Throws the ball out, but in just a nice tackle. Marcus Spencer, man coverage. Throws Markeith Cooper to the ground. 5'7", 158.
The line to make is the 25-yard line, indicated by the ESPN 1st and 10, presented by AMD Athlon processor. Auburn is 80% on third down conversions tonight. Wide open. This is Robinson at the 10. First and goal, Auburn at the 6.5-yard line.
Bill Mazzoni pulling all the right cards tonight. Ben Laird waits for this play to open. Good pass protection by his offensive line. Tavares Robinson with corner route. Alabama with a bust in the secondary.
Keith Evans is the lone setback behind Ben Laird. He'll get the handoff right up the middle. Collision with Merritt, and he'll take it inside the 5 to the 4.
The offensive line, give Auburn's offensive line credit, too. They've handled the front of Alabama. Pass protection, the running game. They've been able to spring Heath Evans. Heath Evans is running hard.
Evans. That is a good job of penetration by Rashid. Salim Rashid, the freshman from Birmingham, broke through the blockers, and with the penetration, that fouled up the entire play, and now it's 3rd down.
Ben Laird's going to have to find a way to throw this football in the end zone.
Crimson Tide trying to keep them out of the end zone. And they better, the way their offense has gone the last quarter and a half. They can't allow a touchdown, and that is going to be overthrown. Daniels, the intended receiver. And now it's 4th down. Lewis with the cover.
Rolled Ben Laird out, figuring there was going to be pressure from Alabama. Rolled him to the right. Still have the field goal unit coming in. Good drive by Auburn.
The ball to attempt the field goal, and it really is a chip shot. 22 yards from the near hash mark. He missed it. Wow. Auburn in a situation to take an 11-point lead, and Duvall misses the chip shot. Let's take a break. He just yanked it. 14-6. Auburn leads. We'll be right back.
Which Sports Center do you watch? Now at 6 p.m. only on ESPN.
This man just woke up in a Residence Inn by Marriott suite. What are his options? He can A, make a cup of fresh coffee in the kitchen. B, walk all the way over to the living room area and start a fire in the fireplace. Or C, shoot some hoops. Okay, let's see what he does. Ah, D, none of the above. Residence Inn by Marriott. Room to relax, room to work, room to breathe.
Didn't you remind him to get gas? Me. You're the smart one. Now what? Relax. We're called him. He owes us a favor. Use 1-800-COLLECT. It'll save him $1 or $2. Gotcha. 1-800-COLLECT.
Need a lift?
Oh, yeah, baby. Yes, ma'am.
We don't accept rides from strangers.
We do now. Yes, we do. Use your head. 1-800-COLLECT.
Save $1 or $2.
Or 3.
What happens when a company that specializes in trucks unveils the most powerful SUV in its class? Introducing the new 205 horsepower, go anywhere, Isuzu Amigo.
We gotta stop letting these things out for test drives.
ESPN's presentation of primetime college football is brought to you by Texas Instruments, the world leader in DSP and analog. And by Isuzu. We don't make cars because life is too big for cars. Well, the Iron and goal continues. 14 plays, 68 yards, 6:09 off the clock, and no points for the Auburn Tigers. And Tyler Watts comes in at quarterback, the freshman out of Pelham. Alexander bounces it to the outside. He's going to have 6, maybe 7 yards in the play. It will be 7. Troon knocks him out of bounds.
On Tyler Watts this year, 39 out of 70, 420 yards, 2 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. But I can tell you this, that missed field goal just got this offense fired up because they came on the field dancing. They were ready to go.
12 of 20, 67 yards, 1 interception. Don't need to tell you, barely over 5 yards per reception for Zhao in that first half. Alexander, nothing doing up the middle, tried to go right, and Haven Fields puts it into that run. Adrian Karsten, what do you have for us?
Ron, Mike DeBose told me coming out of the locker room at the half, he was willing to give Andrew Zhao the first, maybe second series to reprove himself here in the second half, but with the momentum that Auburn had, the drive right down the middle of the field here, to open the second half, he figured he had to pull the trigger and make something happen. That's why Tyler Watts is in the game now.
Okay. Auburn, Washington, 6 tackles first half, Pate with 5 and Creighton with 4. It is 3rd down. Got it complete, and they'll move the sticks. McAdley. He'll take it across the 40-yard line, and it's good for 15.
Remember the missed field goal, because this Alabama football team's a different football team on offense right now. They got life. They came out, ran the ball twice to Sean Alexander. Completion on Tyler Watts' first throw. They're playing with a lot of confidence at this point.
Pitch goes to Alexander. Gets a block. He puts his head down. He's close to the 45. Carson defensively.
And they're running behind Chris Samuels, the left tackle. 6'6", 298. Neil Callaway, the offensive line coach, said the best lineman I've seen in 21 years of coaching.
Not so sure that we might not see a lot more of that. Just let Alexander see if he can find his way. Alexander a blocker this time. They want to throw a screen, and he got it locked up. And he throws it away.
Great defensive play by Tavarius Pounds. Man-to-man on the tight end. That's where they were trying to screen back to Terry Jones. Tavarius Pounds, and you talk about how well coached this Auburn football team is. He sees the screen going to come to the backside, and he just holds on to Terry Jones. Right here he is, number 41. Great shape.
3rd down, and they need to take it across the 50 to the 49-yard line. Watts got his man, and there is Millens. Made the spin move and takes it inside the 45 to around the 43. Marcus Washington with another stop.
And you got to look at Charlie Stubbs now. Mike DeBose with the decision to bring Tyler Watts in this football game. Andrew Zhao, the hot hand all year. Tyler Watts filled in for him when he was hurt. Tyler Watts has given this offense a spark from that missed field goal.
Alexander. Inside the 40, he'll take it to the 39. Troon and Pate combining on the stop. And this right here, actually, nobody needs to get impatient. There's a lot of time, even if you have to take the remainder of the 3rd quarter. But it is imperative that Alabama score a touchdown, which they have not been able to do so far tonight. Only 2 field goals.
But they're putting the ball in Sean Alexander's hands. Had 11 carries in the first half, which is a good number. But you want to throw him the football, give him the ball, and that's going to open up the passing game.
Line to make is the 34-yard line.
No place for the weak of heart. Tyler Watts rolled out. Got hit hard. Coming out, sprinting out to the right. Nothing open. Good hit by Whit Smith, the outside linebacker.
All kinds of time, and he's got it complete to Bowen.
What a good job of just sitting and waiting for your route to come open. That's the difference in the first half. Forced passes in the first half. Tim Bowens just clears the linebackers. Tyler Watts drills the ball in.
Watts, 3 of 4, 39 yards. Sean Alexander cuts it back into the middle, and that's going to be a gain of 8, maybe 9 yards on the play. Reese makes the stop on him.
Got it all going now. Running Sean Alexander, Tyler Watts hot, receivers getting open. Auburn now may need to blitz Tyler Watts a little bit.
Jimmy Brumbaugh looking on from the sideline. He's getting a breather, as is Marcus Washington. Magwood is in for him. Going to have to hurry, and they'll call a timeout because the play clock was about to run down. Timeout with 3:52 left in the third quarter. Auburn 14, Alabama 6, and the Tide is driving.
Some people in the financial business have this transaction mentality. Mine is a relationship mentality.
Carl Domain, AXA Advisors.
I look ahead to the things that my clients want to do and figure out how to get there.
AXA Advisors, part of a global company helping 40 million people.
You earn their trust. Help them succeed. I'm with you for the long haul, not just a one-time commission.
AXA Advisors, building futures.
With an 83-year truck heritage behind us, we decided to try something a little different.
Hey! You left your wallet on the truck!
Introducing the 215 horsepower Rally Sport-inspired Isuzu Via-Cross. Theoretically, still a truck.
Lexmark is changing the face of printing to a bright face.
A colorful face. And we're doing it with a passion.
The new Z-Series printers from Lexmark make your ideas jump right off the page with color, clarity, and the highest inkjet resolution on the planet. All it takes is a little passion. Lexmark. Passion for printing ideas.
It's an end-of-the-season Mountain West shootout as Jay Stoner and the Cowboys visit San Diego State.
Wyoming, San Diego State at 7, next Saturday on ESPN.
So we have 3:52 to play, third quarter. Auburn 14, Alabama 6. Play is being whistled back in, and the entire offense, over talking with the coaches on the sideline. They have plenty of time on the play clock. 16 now at 15. Tyler Watts looks over the defense with a second down and short. Marvin Brown bolts through the right side, and they'll have the first down inside the 20 as Lincoln combined with Fields on the stop.
Well, give credit to Mike DeBose and his offensive staff to go in at halftime and come out here with a game plan and with a good mix here in the third quarter. They're mixing up the play calling, and Auburn's off balance.
Paul Hogan and Jimmy Brumbaugh banging each other after that, what looks as though is going to be a procedure call against the Crimson Tide.
We have a dead ball foul, false start against the offense. Moving in the line prior to the snap. 5-yard penalty, still first down.
Adrian Carson, what do you have for us?
Right after the opening kick run, I told everyone that Jimmy Brumbaugh was the most passionate player on this Auburn football team. Passionate and courageous. Ever since the end of the first quarter, when he has played hurt with a pulled groin muscle. He's been playing spotty situations, especially in run situations. They figure he can't pass rush very well, but can stop the run better.
Middle screen, Millens. First and goal, Alabama.
Screenplay is what Auburn coaches worried about, and Millens is a guy that can make yards after he catches the football. Set up very well. Tyler Watts drops, hits the screen right in here. Now look at all the blockers for Alabama, and they got good angles on Auburn. And it takes Marcus Washington at the end to make this tackle. Number 82, Paul Hogan, Cuthbert, Redmill, all good blocking downfield.
First down. Alexander turns it upfield, puts a head down. He's at the 3, at the 2, and I think that's where they'll give him forward progress, is around the 2-yard line.
Well, I give Mike DeBose a lot of credit for making that quarterback switch when he did. That's not to say Andrew Zhao couldn't do the same thing, but this offensive football team, when Watts come in the ball game, and after the field goal miss, they were just really ready to move the football. You had a feeling that they were going to take this football right down the field.
14th play of the Alabama drive. Nothing. That is a great job by that front of the Auburn Tigers. Carson, one of the first men to submarine and make the hit on Alexander, and now it's 3rd down.
Still think you give the ball to Sean Alexander right here again. Bringing in Dustin McClintock, a good blocking fullback. Gonna run, they're running to the left.
Alexander gets a block, turns it upfield, and he'll be stopped at the 1.5-yard line.
Well, he got strung out too long.
Fields and Kelly combining on the stop. No movement on the Alabama side of the field. Special teams staying at home, and it would appear that the Crimson Tide will go for it on 4th down, trying to put 6 points on the board.
And you see the pursuit by Auburn. They had 5 defenders to the left side where Sean Alexander was trying to run.
Here comes the play. The ball just inside the 2. Jones in motion. Alexander hit in the backfield. That's Kelly, and he will not get in. So let's take a timeout. The Tide drove it a long way and took a lot of plays off the board, and they come away with nothing. We'll be right back.
What's up with that? I'll tell you what's up with that. At the Auto Supercenter, we have 30-plus used cars at or below $99.99. It's hard not to get excited about Heritage Nissan's Auto Supercenter's new, nothing over $99.99 lot. Talking about cheap, we have them as low as $29.99. Hey, and the best part is we have no hassle prices on all of our vehicles. Remember, at the Auto Supercenter and the $99.99 lot, we're smashing high prices. Has anybody seen the Fat Man?
Cartersville Jewelry Exchange can sell you quality gold and diamond jewelry for about the same prices we sold to jewelers across the country.
Cartersville Jewelry Exchange will sell you a 1/4 carat 3-piece bezel set for only $89, a 1/2 carat ladies cluster for only $99, or a man's 2 carat cluster for only $399.
At Cartersville Jewelry Exchange, you choose from the region's largest selection of quality discount jewelry. Remember, there's nothing romantic about paying too much.
Cartersville Jewelry Exchange in the Walmart Low Center near I-75, exit 125.
Auburn University researchers have designed and patented a microchip that will enable airbag systems to react 1,000 times faster during an accident, making them smarter, more reliable, and most importantly, safer.
Well, a lot of perspiration and some smiles on the Auburn sideline, and for good reason, because what just happened is 16 plays, 75 yards, 7 minutes and 56 seconds off the clock, and the Crimson Tide came away with nothing because of that outstanding defensive play by Kenny Kelly and the entire Auburn defense.
He is going to be sacked for a safety.
Michael, of all the things that you could not have happen after that defensive stand, and to have this, and now you got a free kick going back to him, it just punctures the balloon. That is inexperience right there.
You're right. You have the momentum. You missed the field goal. Then Alabama comes in, takes the ball all the way down the field. Then you get a big play by Kenny Kelly. Then you come right out, and he's trying to throw the ball deep. He needs to throw this ball away. Throw it away. Pumped it, but just protection broke down. Now Alabama in pretty good shape, down. Pick up 2 points, 14-8, down 6 points. Going to get the ball back in pretty good field position.
Coming up tomorrow on ESPN, the NASCAR Winston Cup Series finale, the Napa 500 live from Atlanta Motor Speedway, 12:30 Eastern. Even with the series championship already awarded to Jarrett and Yates, tomorrow's race could be the most intense of the season. Coverage begins 11:30 a.m. with NASCAR today on ESPN2. 42 seconds left in this third quarter. And our new score is Auburn 14 and Alabama 8. And, of course, you know what the traffic is now. It is a free kick on the part of Auburn. They can elect to punt it, or they can put it on a tee and kick it away, and they're going to kick it.
Ron, I just feel like Alabama's taken over this football game. Since that missed field goal, and I keep talking about that, I think it's Alabama's game right now. They're in pretty good stride right now. They're doing good things on offense.
You know what I would do?
Pressure and Laird on defense.
I would let Bohannon have the tailback on this series right here. I think Alexander is still bothered by that injury. I don't think he's 100%. Millens.
He's not bothered by anything. Millens is a great football player.
Reed makes the tackle, but it's a return of 29 yards.
It's almost like it's turned the game now. Pressure's being put up by Alabama. They're after Auburn right now. They get the big defensive play and then get the safety, and now Alabama's going to come right back at them.
Alexander comes trotting out. He will be the tailback along with Tyler Watts. Alexander, right up the middle, breaks it for 5, has 10, counted off at 15 yards, and all the way to the 37-yard line. Troon makes the tackle. And are you ever right about momentum in this football game?
The best thing can happen for Tommy Tuberville is this third quarter to end. And then he get a chance to regroup his football team because Alabama's after him right now.
That's the longest run of the night by Alexander.
And that's what he's going to get. This third quarter is going to come to a close. Tommy Tuberville needs to pull his ball club together because they are taking a punch from Alabama.
That is the end of the third quarter. And as we head to the final 15 minutes of play, we take a timeout with our score. Auburn 14 and Alabama 8. The Iron Bowl, 15 more minutes of the 1999 edition. Right back.
What happens when a company that specializes in trucks unveils the most powerful SUV in its class? Introducing the new 205 horsepower Go Anywhere. Isuzu Amigo. We gotta stop letting these things out for test drives.
The biggest comedy of the year is now available in a handy take-home size.
I shall call him Mini-Me.
All the laughs.
I love you.
All the love.
I love you.
All the mojo.
I've lost my mojo.
All in one box. And it's yours to own for only
$100 billion.
Austin Powers, the spy who shagged me.
Yeah, baby, yeah.
Bring home the mojo on VHS and DVD.
I like to think of myself as an innovator who started a company, Dell Computer, around an idea that everybody should be doing business directly with one another, one-to-one, with no barriers. To me, that's the power of the internet. We'd like to show you how to empower your business in ways you've never imagined. I'm Michael Dell, and it's our reason for being.
Be direct. Dell. Dell servers use Intel Pentium 3 processors.
If you want more choices with more taste, we're your buds. Where else but Sonic can you get an extra long coney? Fun has never tasted so good. You get that extra kick of chili on top, all that melted cheddar cheese. We'll even toss in those tots you love to pop. That's one very tasty meal at one very tasty price.
Sonic America's drive.
This month, don't miss our new apple pie shake. It's thick, creamy, and tastes so much like homemade apple pie. It even has bits of pie crust mixed in.
Let's see some D, D, D.
Log on to dsports.com, the ultimate online sporting goods store. dsports.com. Seize the D.
So we're set for the final 15 minutes, and there's a lot on the line here. One of the things, Mike, this is interesting. Coming to the stadium tonight, somebody told us that if Alabama were to win this football game, that they are going to paper Toomer's Corner with crimson toilet paper. And the Auburn folks have said there'll be a war if you do. Running play with Alexander, weaves his way still on his feet in the open and inside the 25. Strone finally made the tackle. And this, all of a sudden, is a tired Auburn defense.
Yeah, it's been a difference in the second half because Sean Alexander has become a factor in the second half. Bottled up in the first half because the passing game wasn't working. Sean Alexander didn't have a lot of running room. Now the passing game's opened up. Sean Alexander's opened up. Second half has been his. He's had 10 rushes for 37 yards.
Gets it again. Counter tray, hit at the line of scrimmage. Hanging on for dear life is Alex Lincoln, the junior automobile, number 43.
Well, you talk about turnarounds, Ron, in third quarter. Now, Auburn had a chance to tackle on a two-score lead and shanks it to the left. Then Alabama takes the ball down the field. Fourth down, Kenny Kelly breaks in and makes the tackle, and then all of a sudden the momentum's Auburn's, and they go back to throw in the end zone, get the sack, and now Alabama challenges.
Pass out in the flat, completed to 26, and he'll take it to the 20-yard line. Antonio Carter and Troon shake it up on the play.
Leonardo Carson's had a big ball game in this game too. Former high school quarterback, defensive tackle for Auburn, senior.
Carson, 5 tackles on the night, Pate with 6, and Marcus Washington with a total of 8. They are the leaders for the Auburn Tigers defensively. Clock is whistled back in. The situation is third down, and they need to take it to the 13.5-yard line to pick up the first down.
We're getting out of the huddle here very late. They've only had one delayed penalty called this season.
Pitch to Alexander. Blocker in front, turns it upfield, and that is a nice open field tackle. Coming up out of the secondary is Simmons, Stanford Simmons, a freshman from Ashland, Alabama. And if he doesn't take his feet out from under him, Alexander is going for the first down.
Well, a tough call for Mike DeBose here, but it looks like they're going to go for it on 4th and 3. Stanford Simmons out of the backfield, number 8, a freshman, makes the tackle, shoestring tackle on Alexander. Down by 6, Alabama going to go for it.
Direct snap. Has the first down. Millens, who took the direct snap, and is down to the 8. It is 1st and goal, Alabama.
They flanked Tyler Watts, the quarterback. They came out of the huddle. Tyler Watts split all the way to the right as a wide receiver. Freddie Millens took the ball, ran an option. Excellent call by Mike DeBose and his staff for the first down. It's an option all the way with Millens and Sean Alexander. Millens sticks it up inside. He's been a difference maker in the second half.
Alabama sprinting to the line of scrimmage. Buchanan, the man at the top of the screen. But they run it the other way. Alexander open at the 5, and he'll walk in. Touchdown, Alabama. We are tied. Hogan with an outstanding block for Alabama.
Been a different ball game since the missed field goal. Sean Alexander walks into the end zone, gets a great block, as you said, by Hogan.
You can see the record in the SEC for Sean Alexander as Rob Pate is being helped off the field. And that is the best that Alexander has run the ball tonight. He did not seem encumbered by the ankle injury on that drive right there.
Now they fed him the football here in the second half.
This is for the lead. Got it. So as we go to break, we'll take a timeout, but here is the touchdown by Alexander. He bounces to the outside, and he just walks it in, tied by 1.
College Game Day, Saturdays at 11 on ESPN.
Mom, Dad, if I'm paying rent, I gotta have a better breakfast than this.
Mark.
I know there's some dietary restrictions at the table, but no way.
What would you like, Mark?
Potatoes, sausage, eggs.
Would you like me to serve that to you in a nice warm skillet?
That would be great.
What does this look like? A Holiday Inn?
Want a better breakfast? Try our award-winning Best for Breakfast menu at today's Holiday Inn.
Hi, my car's out front.
We'll get started right away.
Introducing 5 Star, a new approach to selling and servicing cars and trucks.
You're all set.
Great job, guys. Let's run that drill again.
5 Star, certified training so rigorous, only the best make the cut. It's better, we'll prove it, only where you see these signs.
What kept me going was the belief in the dream.
For over 2 years at an arm-numbing 9,000 wheel turns a day, Canadian Rick Hansen wheeled himself around the world, raising over $20 million for spinal cord research and rehabilitation.
We wanted to redefine the way people viewed issues of disability.
Through the Rick Hansen Institute, he's continued to raise almost $100 million more.
And I honestly believe that our best work is still to come.
State Farm salutes life heroes because State Farm understands life.
ESPN's presentation of primetime college football is brought to you by Chrysler, giving you back the romance of driving. And by State Farm Insurance. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Well, that man right there has had a sensational relief job. Tyler Watts, freshman out of Pelham, Alabama, as he came in the third quarter. And it was the right call by the coaching staff because did it ever produce results? And the Crimson Tide back on top by 1. This kick will come out of bounds, and they'll scrimmage from the 35. So a mistake by Lane Bearden to give Auburn good field position to start their retort.
You talk about Mike DeBose's decision to go with Tyler Watts. Tyler Watts talked openly this week about maybe transferring from Alabama. Sure, he feels a little bit more comfortable tonight.
Well, as you mentioned, not a knock on Zhao.
No.
But he was not sharp, and that happens. Whether
He was
you're
high.
Baseball, basketball, football, whatever. You can have an off period, and that was the situation for him in the first half. Robinson in motion. Laird under pressure, and he's going to go down. And I have a feeling somebody ran a wrong route there, because when he looked to his left as his first receiver, there was nobody out there.
Yeah, he was ready to throw, and nobody stopped on the short route. This is a ball club right now that's unraveling a little bit, Auburn, and they need some leadership, but this is a young offensive football team.
Ellis Johnson's defense has really started to apply more pressure, turn the screws a little tighter. They'll come with a four-man rush again. Pressure on Laird, and he just throws this one away. There's your flag. It'll be a loss of down against Auburn, so it'll be third down.
It's almost
With an illegal forward pass, intentional grounding. The penalty is loss of down at the spot of the foul. Third down.
If this was a basketball game, would be a timeout time. You know, to bring your team over and just settle them down. Now, you got a chance to talk to your defense. Your offense is out there right now. And again, they're not performing well. Kendall Moorhead with a good sack on Ben Laird.
You know, Mike, I like this rule and the fact that there's no penalty added on. It's just from the spot of where the ball was grounded, and it's the loss of down. But for Auburn, it's third down and a mile. They need 20. Blitz off the far side, and this pass, there's nobody close. Daniels turns around and looks back at the pocket like...
That's what's happened, Ron. There's no leadership right now on the field because the young football team. Daniels a freshman, wide receiver. Ben Laird's a junior, relatively inexperienced. As good as they looked in the first half, it's the reverse here in the second half, and Heath Evans has not been a part of the second half.
The ball went in for the snap. Line drive kick. This is Millen. Very returnable from the 33. Ran it to his own man. And now he's free again. And Millens will take it to the 49-yard line. 42 yards in the kick and 18 on the return before Quentin Reese finally put a stop on it.
He's exciting. Now, he excites the bench.
Showed us a timeout. 10:47 left in our ball game, tied by 1.
Hello, I'm Dan Vickers. Like many of you, my family and I have been trusting the Dempsey family since 1965 to handle the care of our loved one's final resting place with one of their 3 premier cemeteries. So why would you think of calling a different funeral home when the need arises? The Dempseys stand ready to serve you with their superior service and competitive costs. They even have a program allowing you to plan all of your services in advance and a flexible payment plan to fit anyone's budget. Call today. You'll be glad you did.
Drop everything and go to the grand opening sale going on at Rex. To celebrate 10 new stores, Rex has this sharp shelf stereo system with 3-disc CD changer and surround sound for just $119. This RCA 46-inch projection stereo monitor receiver with color, picture-in-picture, and more is only $12.99. Plus, buy any big screen TV 35 inches or larger from Rex and get a sharp stereo VCR free. Terrific value, terrific prices during the grand opening sale at Rex.
Ken Palmer and the Falcons make Bray the Lobos. Air Force, New Mexico at 2:30. Next Saturday on ESPN2.
So I had fun. That's how I'll call you.
Yeah, okay.
Well, hey. Next time I'll remember to bring enough cash for both of us.
Next time, use the Visa check card instead of cash. It's fast, easy, and accepted everywhere Visa is. So you can get what you need and get on with life.
Daniels on the sideline, and it appeared that on the last 2 pass plays that there was confusion between Laird, his quarterback, and Daniels in exactly what routes to run.
Yeah, you can see in the second half, around 69 yards. So Auburn, Alabama made some adjustments at halftime and have really shut down Auburn's offense.
Alexander bounces it to the outside, has 5, has 10, and is going to be shoved out of bounds on the near sideline. And let's go down and check in with Adrian Karsten following that 13-yard gain.
Ron, that's the point. This has been a long season, but I got to tell you, if we have to wait this long to see a performance this courageous by Sean Alexander, who's not going to win the Heisman Trophy, then I'll wait the 12 weeks. He's getting the majority of his yards straight up the field because that ankle begins to hurt him so much here with 10:40 left in the fourth quarter. It's hard for him to get outside, and he has no confidence. He becomes very gingerly on the sideline.
Right tackle, Dante Ellington.
Adrian, just to improve your point as we wait for Rogers ready. 26 carries, 122 yards.
It's a dead ball foul, false start against the offense. Movement in the offensive line prior to the snap. 5-yard penalty, still first in.
It just, Mike, it goes to show that the great ones not only have great ability, they have great heart. 13 yards to break the career school mark. I'm sure that they would love to see him have it for what he has meant to this program. But to be injured and to step it up when they had to have it, that's the mark of the chin. Here he goes again. Behind the block of Chris Samuels, and that is the record. And since we're here at Auburn, I don't know if they'll make the announcement or not, but he's going to go to the sideline. Alexander, I think, is going to take himself out. He looked as though that ankle was really bothering at the end of this run.
The difference in the second half has been the ability of Tyler Watts to throw the football that has opened up the running game in Sean Alexander.
Now it's Sean Bohannon, number 28, out of Oak Ridge, Tennessee. But they'll go with McClintock, the fullback, as they cross them up. And McClintock with a gain of 7. And just what Mike Godfrey talked about a moment ago, it's almost like Auburn needs another timeout here. This thing is going downhill and getting away from them very quickly.
Fast. Marcus Washington with a touchdown-saving tackle on that play. But ever since the missed field goal, Tyler Watts inserted in the ball game, this has been Alabama's football game.
You have to be careful of a Bohannon because fresh legs in the backfield. As they go with the big fullback, McClintock again. And from where they've spotted it, he is very close to the first down at the 14. Lincoln defensively. Sean Alexander, 3,425 yards, 38 career touchdowns.
Last year against Auburn, Ronnie rushed 27 times for 99 yards, so given another great effort against Auburn.
Crimson Tide to the line of scrimmage, 3rd down and short. Kelly makes the stop on McClintock, and that should be the first down.
An impressive job by Paul Hogan, too, the center. He can block now. He's one of the better centers I've seen this year.
Here comes Sean Alexander back into the lineup. Yeah, Hogan is another one that the coaches talked about extensively, particularly Coach Callaway. That's his area. And he just said that, you know, that Samuels is such a great one, but that Hogan has played so well and is such a great leader right there as the cornerstone.
So draw formation, Alexander.
Faked it to him. Watt's going to run. He'll take it to the 8. Carson finally trips him up.
Marcus Washington again with good pressure, just didn't make the tackle. And sometimes when you get tired, you start to get sloppy and wrapping up and making tackles. This is an Auburn defense that deserves better tonight, though. They played very well in this football game.
Lincoln calling the defensive signals as Alabama breaks the huddle and comes to the line of scrimmage with a 2nd down at about 5.5. Alexander right up the middle. He'll take it to the 5 and then is shoved back by Marcus Washington. Marcus is one of the guys we need to say a lot about tonight, because he's one of those fellas playing his last Iron Bowl, and he has put it all out there on the line.
It's all on the line. He's not leaving anything. He's not taking anything back to the locker room. He's going to leave it all on this field. They need a big play. Auburn's defense has to come up with some penetration here to try to get lost yardage.
Well, the line to make is the 3, indicated in the ESPN 1st and 10, presented by AMD Athlon Processor. And it's Alexander in for the touchdown.
Good blocks, Ron. Griff Redmill, the guard. Number 75, Dustin McClintock, the fullback.
Logan with the extra point. And with 7:02 to play, Auburn has got to regroup and do it quickly. The Alabama Crimson Tide now with an 8-point bulge, 22-14.
Valve V6 and the agility of a 4-wheel independent suspension.
I didn't know Davis could move like that.
I told him to think of himself as something powerful and agile.
I wonder what he was thinking.
The Napa 500 tomorrow at 12:40 on ESPN.
Ahead on SportsCenter, the Noles and Gators battle for BCS supremacy in the swamp. A horned frog turns into a prince with a record-breaking effort. And what do Spree and PJ have to say to each other, if anything? Kenny Mayne joins me, Carl Ravitch, on SportsCenter at 11 Eastern.
7:02 left in the ball game, and the part of the band of the Alabama Crimson Tide beginning to whoop it up across the way. They can smell victory, but they still have to watch their football team get 7:02 off the clock before that becomes reality. And then this Iron Bowl will move to Tuscaloosa for next year's ball game. From the 8, this is Carter. Walker defensively on the special teams to make the tackle. Time permitting, Residents Inn College Game Night follows our game. Then at 11 Eastern at SportsCenter with Carl Ravitch and Kenny Mayne. And the top stories, the cold shoulder. Will Sprewell talk to PJ. Young and the restless. Young, will he return or retire? Showdown in the swamp, the battle for number 1. Keith Evans. It's a gain of 6, maybe 7 tough yards as Evans found tough going inside. Actually, they're going to say he's down at the 31, so it'll be a gain of 4.
Good tackle in the secondary by Reggie Miles, and he's had a pretty good football game for Alabama defensively. Keith Evans has had a very good game for Auburn. Gives them a running threat that they missed sorely all year until they made the move with Evans at tailback.
And Laird got it complete. That's Robinson. And he's being pushed back upfield by Miles. but it's more than enough for Auburn's first down.
They're a touchdown and a two-point play away from forcing this thing into more time. And Ben Laird is the type of quarterback, if you give him time, that he can shred a defensive secondary. He found Tavarius Robinson open in the hole on the corner route on that play. So if Auburn's offensive line will protect for him, he can drive the ball down the field.
Quick out pass, got it complete in the flat to Robinson. Whoa, does he get knocked down quickly. Rashid, I'll tell you, the coaches, in talking about him, Ellis Johnson just said, we think Rashid is going to wind up being absolutely one of the best. And they've had some great ones at Alabama. They think he is going to be one of the real wild bunch.
Ron, 2 years of top 5 recruiting for Alabama, so they're well on their way of assembling talent. Ronnie Cottrell heads that up. And Auburn, with Tommy Tuberville here, they're going to get better and better players all the time. Auburn and Alabama will both be back and challenging.
Laird being hit as he throws, and it's almost intercepted. Milo Lewis with the cover.
He almost had his first interception of the year of a pass.
Forehead with the pressure. And somehow that play just looked a little out of sync from the get-go.
Alabama's done a better job on Ronnie Daniels in the second half, too. He made some catches in the first half, picked up some big first downs, big plays. Second half, he's been kind of quiet. We're going to try to go to him right here.
Got it complete to Reggie Worthy. Double coverage there, and Worthy with a nice job of being aggressive and coming forward and catching the football before the defenders took it away. 11 yards.
Ron, they did a good job. Ben Laird was looking for Ronnie Daniels on the left side, and Alabama had him bracketed. As he comes off the ball right at the top, watch what Alabama does. They make contact with him, force him inside, and safety over the top. But wisely, Ben Laird came back to the backside for the first down.
Quick pass to Daniels. Runs into his own man and then is shoved out of bounds by Spencer on the near side.
What Auburn's doing right here, they're giving Ben Laird time. He's got a chance to throw the football. Every now and then they're going to sneak Keith Evans at Alabama. They've got a nice little drive going. I wouldn't be surprised if they run the ball here with Evans. Try to slow down the pass rush. They got good mix right now. Quick passing game. Auburn's hitting on all cylinders.
Pressure. There's Evans. Inside the 30. 25. Out of bounds at the 20-yard line. 18 yards, and they'll say he is just short of the 20.
And again, Ben Laird finds Heath Evans. He sneaks out of the backfield. He's lined up at the blocking back in the shotgun. He's going to sneak right out in the flats. Sets like he's going to block. Nobody comes. You can see the clear out. Evans comes out outside, wide open, picks up good yardage.
First catch for Heath Evans on the night. The ball just outside the 20. You see the clock is at 4:28. Alabama with a 22-14 lead. And it looked like timeout was called by Spencer.
They did. You're
Marcus
right.
Spencer started walking toward the sideline, hollering at the official, "We want a timeout." And it looked as though Ellis Johnson and his defensive coaches wanted to talk it over. So we'll take it with them. 4:28 left in the ball game. Alabama by 8, and the Tigers driving.
Exciting episode of...
Welcome to the age of Vega. Sony Vega, part of the Sony home entertainment universe.
And hey now, what am I been on a fine little pony like I've been now 10,000 what about Mr. in the blue shirt. 56 moments.
Avoid internet distractions. DowJones.com delivers only business information with an extraordinary all-business search engine, customized content for leading industries, and more. DowJones.com. It's all business.
Heavy volume.
Wicked heavy. What is the value of victory? What makes success so sweet? At American General, we help over 12 million people every day live the lives they've imagined. With retirement services, life insurance, consumer loans, and whether they have big dreams or little dreams, the real victory is seeing their dreams come true. American General Financial Group. Live the life you've imagined.
So here's the situation. 4 minutes and 28 seconds left in the ball game, and you might remember I said with 7:02 on the clock we had the shot of the band members up there whooping it up, but I said, but they still got 7:02 to get off the clock. Auburn has driven very quickly downfield. Evans, nicely defended by Rashid. He was not fooled at all and makes the tackle immediately. Going to be a gain of maybe 1 on the play.
Alabama, what they're trying to do here late in the ball game is make sure they got 2 over the top of Daniels. You see the corner and the safety. Earlier in the ball game, you saw that they put the safety over the 3 receivers to the other side. That's the respect they have for Daniels.
Here comes the blitz, right up the middle. Pass is caught, and what a tackle on Carter. Oh, my goodness. Tim got the ball, and he got Tony Dixon at the same time. So 2 outstanding defensive open field tackles by Alabama.
Yeah, you're right. You like crossing routes against man coverage, and Alabama's bringing the heat now on Ben Laird. If his offensive line will give him time, he can find somebody and get close to tying this football game up, but they cannot allow him to get hit like he's getting hit on the last play.
3rd down and 8. Clock about to go under 3 minutes left in this Iron Bowl. Ball is tipped and almost intercepted by Gilbert. Darius Gilbert knows that he was about a half an inch from putting this one away for the Crimson Tide.
Field goal unit coming on the field.
Some scattered boos in the crowd.
Well,
35-yard field goal attempt by Duvall. He got this one.
Okay, Ron, here's the situation now, 2:58. Auburn still has 3 timeouts. Now, Tommy Tuberville took the field goal, 5 down. Now he can make a decision. 1, onside kick, try to get the ball, or kick it deep, try to hold Alabama on 3 plays. They got 3 timeouts. They can shut the clock down, get good field position. So now we'll see whether the onside kick or kick it deep and use your timeouts.
Mike, here are the 2 big plays in the 3rd quarter that cost the Auburn Tigers dearly. First of all, as you look back, the field goal, chip shot, 22 yards. He yanked it. Just like you come over the top of a drive. And here's the biggest mistake of all. Ben Laird has to throw this ball, even if he gets a grounding call, but you can't take the safety. It was after a huge stop by the defense. And everybody's up, the crowd is going nuts, and you take the safety on 1st down.
Big swing. And you talk about the missed field goal, that's 3 points, and you got the safety, that's 2 points. But Auburn's still alive in this football game at 2:58. Tommy Tuberville taking the sure 3, turning it over to his defense and his special teams. Alabama will play up for the onside. I'm not sure. I think he'll kick it deep. And then come down to a last drive. If they can hold Alabama, now they're shifting to the onside kick. And a lot of movement here.
Alabama is shifting. All right, here we go. Recovered by Alabama. And the kick didn't go 10 yards anyway.
Well,
Terry Jones recovered, excuse me.
Yeah, when you take the onside kick now, here you give Alabama field position, but you still have 3 timeouts. Got to shut them down. That's what Tommy Tuberville is counting on his defense to do. Onside kick just didn't go 10 yards.
No. See, he had to jump out of the way. And at 7 yards, Jones got on the football. Wouldn't have mattered if Auburn had recovered it there or not.
Yeah, let's see if Auburn can get a good defensive effort here. We're going to see Sean Alexander. Got to use your timeouts.
Lincoln makes the stop, and Auburn burns one of those 3 remaining timeouts. So we'll take the break with them. 2:44 to play. Alabama 22-17.
You know, there's more to life than beer. There's, okay, give me a minute here. Boy, there's gotta be something. Sometimes you just have to stop and smell the beer. Okay, that's long enough. Ice brewed so there's never any watered down taste. Ice House. Enjoy.
Hey, Dr. Ye? Dr. Ye. Have you ever used one of those shampoos and conditioners all in the same bottle?
Yes, I have.
What did you think of it?
I like it. Yeah, I use it first. You have one in your,
Yeah, I got it right there.
That's the one I use. I like it.
Dan Patrick at TGI Fridays. Can I have the autograph, please?
Sure, bye.
Thanks, Mr. Patrick.
Don't mention it.
So welcome back. 2 minutes and 44 seconds remaining in this 1999 edition of the Iron Bowl. Alabama by 5, and they have the football at the Auburn 40. Sean Alexander.
There's a timeout again. Now, Ron, if you're play calling right here, some coaches like to fake the ball to Alexander. Quarterback just wheel around, fake it, and then come on a naked trying to draw the defense to Alexander. Take a little longer, run wide for your quarterback, try to pick up the first down.
Alexander, 31 attempts, 152 yards, and 2 touchdowns. The 1997 Iron Bowl so clearly illustrates the swing of emotions that have taken place in this game. Alabama with the lead through a pass late. Ed Sissom has to go high for it, gets hit, fumbles the ball. It is recovered by Auburn, and moments later, Jared Holmes kicks a game winner, earning Auburn their 3rd straight win here at Jordan-Hare Stadium. The final Iron Bowl for Terry Bowden.
Ron, in that ball game, Ed Sissom, that was a tough play.
Oh.
You know, a tough catch. He played great the whole ball game. Not his fault. He got hit.
The ball was high.
Yeah,
he
the ball
gets hit.
was high. The ball was thrown high. He gets hit by 2 Auburn players, drops the football, and that led to the score. But Ed Sissom played a great football game in that ball game, and that was not his fault.
Tommy Tuberville pacing the sideline, interested in talking with Tommy and his assistant coaches yesterday. They've been here such a short time and have been so busy, I'm not sure they were able to get wrapped up in the Iron Bowl as far as the pre-stuff, but after tonight they will be.
I was going to say, they will be now.
Alexander, right side, has the first down, and he's loose. Sean Alexander. to touchdown.
I was going to say, give credit to Mike DeBose. He made some gutsy moves tonight, gutsy calls. Got to give him credit. I felt all along, whether he won this football game or lost this football game, he was going to be back at Alabama. He's had a great year on the field. His team has played hard for Mike DeBose and his staff.
Alexander now with 176 yards. McClintock, they take him straight ahead, and he is down at the 7-yard line. Marcus Washington, who has had a Super Bowl game, makes still another tackle for the Tigers.
Ron, like you talked about, Tommy Tuberville, 365 days till the next time he gets a chance at Alabama. He'll understand this rivalry. He's now a part of it. Ben Laird will be back. Things are bright for Auburn. Their staff, they've done a nice job.
Jimmy Brumbaugh, he knows that it's the last minute and a half for him. McClintock straight ahead. He'll have one. Timeout is called by the Auburn Tigers, and that's the final one that they have. Our Visa players of the game from Alabama: Sean Alexander, 32 rushes, 176 yards, and 2 touchdowns. And for Marcus Washington, it is a career high for him. 13 tackles, and he has really been outstanding. Our congratulations to those 2 young men.
Well, it's a game that's been hard fought on the field. I was in Alexander City, Alabama on Friday at the Russell Company, and they had a dress-up day, and there's half of them Auburn and half of them Alabama, Ron, and they fight hard, but there's a lot of pride in the state for both these schools.
Well, as we told you in the first half, the last 3 of these games, the team that led at halftime did not win. And right now, we are 1:15 away from having that being 4 years in a row.
Yeah, you don't want to be ahead at halftime.
Coming up on Thursday, another tremendous rivalry of number 16 Ole Miss takes on number 15 Mississippi State. That with coverage beginning at 7:30 Eastern with game night. All of that on ESPN this week. Time is back in here, and with 1:15 to play, here goes Alexander. Bounces it to the right, and he will score. 3 touchdowns tonight. Well, how fitting for the All-American. 182 yards. He scores his 3rd touchdown. And only right that he should get the football and get an opportunity to put the crowning blow on this last game of this century in the Iron Bowl.
Ron, if he stays healthy this year, he's in the Heisman race all the way through. He still should go to New York also. One of the 5 best in the country this year. Auburn defense just wore down.
Well, the celebration and the penalty pushes it back to the 18-yard line. Blugner to attempt the extra point, and this one will come as a timeout is being taken by Alabama to make sure they have everything aligned properly. 1:09 left in the ball game. Blugner goes back to the sideline.
Well, we talked about Dante Ellington having his work cut out for him, but he gets a good block here on the right side. Sean Alexander breaks through. Another good job by Chris Samuels pulling on the outside. Sean Alexander's been the difference. First half, bottled up. Second half, gets loose.
Remember he said at halftime he had 44 yards. He has 138 and 3 touchdowns in the second half. And I'll tell you, that group that he moved in front of, this is extremely good company. Ahead of Bobby Humphrey, Johnny Musso, and Dennis Riddle. And, you know, Sean Alexander told me last year, Mike, you remember he broke the single-game Alabama rushing record his freshman year against LSU. We were doing an interview, and he said, the reason I got in the game is Riddle was shaken up a bit, and because of an ESPN television timeout, they put me in the game. I had a long run and then another one, and the next thing I knew, they didn't take me out until I had the record.
Well, he should thank Ed Placey and Scott Johnson, because they probably had the timeout. Producer and director for us tonight.
Well, Sean has demonstrated why he is the all-time leader and so highly thought of by the Crimson Tide faithful and all of college football, for that matter. Extra point attempt. That thing shaved off to the right at the last moment, so it's no good. So with 1:09 to play, it's Alabama 28 and Auburn 17. Freddie Millis.
Yeah, he's a difference maker.
Outstanding ball game for him. The direct snap of the big play earlier this quarter.
He's got some wheels. They're going to be talking about him in the SEC for a long time.
Only a sophomore, and he's out of Starkville, Mississippi.
Headed for Florida when Ronnie Cottrell got hired and started recruiting him and got him turned around and said, I'm going to Alabama instead of Florida. Well, now Alabama's got a date with Florida.
Sure do. In Atlanta. What is that, the 4th of December? And Mike, here's an interesting thing. Congratulations to Bobby Bowden and his guys. ACC doesn't have a playoff. Today's their last game. They got 45 days off before the national championship.
I think that hurt them last year.
I do too.
Tennessee.
It's impossible to be sharp.
Because Tennessee played Vanderbilt after that and played the championship game. It's quite an advantage.
Carter knocked down by his own man. That was Beasley. He made contact with him. You know, Sean's got to be very, very excited.
Yeah, he's taking pictures over here. He figures it's over. Tyler Watts, run 2. You got to talk about him. He came in. He ignited the offense. As soon as they had that missed field goal, this game changed completely. And his insertion into the ball game.
Watts 5 of 6 for 57 yards. That is efficiency personified. I've heard of throwing to a spot, but I mean, Ben, there was no one around. Obviously, the receiver ran the wrong route.
Well, it's nice when you got 2 quarterbacks. And I'll tell you the other thing about I watched on the sideline of Alabama. This man right here, Andrew Zhao, even though he did not play in the second half, he was talking to his teammates, uplifting them all the time. He did not sulk on the sideline. He was one of the first guys to congratulate Tyler Watts, to congratulate Sean. Look at this. That's when you got a football team. When the guy knows his role and comes out of the football game and still feels good about it.
That's going to be intercepted by Miles. Reggie Miles up the far sideline, and he'll be tackled just inside the 30 by Geno James. Kenny King put the pressure on.
But you hate to see this season end like this for Ben Laird.
Now, the Auburn coaches are on the field, and the Tigers have way too many people out there. And I think the mission of some of those players headed out onto the field were not as substitutions, but to go over and confer with some of the Crimson Tide. You can see how many coaches for Auburn are coming back. They were all the way out to the hash marks. And
I'm not so sure it wasn't a late hit on Ben Laird. That probably may have sparked this thing. There's the interception. The tackle, and I think there's a late hit on Ben Laird. Ben grabs the face mask, a little push. Ben gives a little push to Kenny King. Referee wisely steps inside, and it's going to be called against Auburn. Neil Callaway, the offensive line coach, his offensive line took over in the second half.
I think he got more of the liquid.
Yeah, he really did. He was in the wrong spot at the wrong time.
Than Mike DeBose did. He'll probably say, hey, this is designed for the head coach, not the offensive coordinator. They'll take a knee. Clock goes down to 44, 43. The officials very quickly getting in between the two teams. Well, it's been too hard fought and too well played to have an incident mar it right now.
Ron, Alabama's going to name an AD this next week.
I think that announcement's going to come on Tuesday.
Come on Tuesday, and then things will settle down a little bit at the university.
13 seconds down to 12, and this one is about to go in the record books as Tommy Tuberville heads across the field to shake hands with Mike DeVoe. And the final Iron Bowl of 1999 is history. Final score, Alabama 28 and Auburn 17. Coming up next, Residents Inn College Game Night, followed by SportsCenter. For Mike Gottfried and Adrian Karsten, I'm Ron Franklin. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. For more, log on to ESPN.com, part of the Go Network, go.com. Once again, our final score, Alabama 28, Auburn 17. Once again, here's Brian Kenny.
All right, Ron, thank you very much. Brian Kenny, Rodney Gilmore here, Residents in College Game Night. Got about 15 minutes taking you up to SportsCenter, top of the hour. Alabama took it from a team that was operating pretty well in the first half.
Yeah, Alabama certainly played very well, and this makes it a very interesting situation when you start looking at the matchup now, the rematch, we should say, with Alabama and Florida in Atlanta for the championship game of the SEC. Not clear yet because Alabama looked great. Florida didn't look great offensively today. That thing is still up for grabs as to who gets to the BCS.
Meantime, weeks back, we were talking about Mike DeBose with the dreaded bye week. Would he get fired? Would he lose his job in that off week? Well, he beats Florida. He doesn't get fired, wins the Iron Bowl. Things looking much better for him. Adrian Karsten is there at Auburn right now and ready to talk to Mike DeBose and Sean Alexander. Adrian?
Brian, in an Iron Bowl for the ages, it's hard to know just exactly which momentum shift really made you feel this game was going in Alabama's favor. But Coach DeBose, I think it was when they missed the field goal and then you scored the safety, and Ben Laird, after you missed the touchdown, you could feel this game change.
Well, there's no question the safety was huge. The good Lord has blessed this football team all year, and he blessed us again tonight, and we give him all the praise, the credit, and the glory. I couldn't be happier for this group of guys, and especially these seniors. They've laid it on the line. They've overcome an awful lot this year, and they've got Alabama football back where Alabama football is supposed to be, competing for championships.
Coming out the way Auburn did in the second half, they marched right down the field the way they did in the first half. You had to pull the trigger on the quarterback change. In comes Tyler Watts.
Well, we made that decision going into the locker room that we were going to come back with Tyler there. But, again, our football team came back out in the second half and played one well a football game. But Auburn played a great football game. Tommy had his football team ready. They gave us a lot of problems.
Young man to your left may not win the Heisman Trophy, but 182 yards, 3 touchdowns tonight. Alabama's all-time rushing leader. Sean, congratulations.
Thank you. Guys, awesome. There's so much I just want to say about this team, and it's almost speechless because we've just worked hard, and, Coach Juba has just done a great job getting us ready, and I tell you what, it's just been a season, a bunch of trials, but God's good, and he keeps on showing us ways that we can keep on prevailing, and it's just amazing to be around these group of guys, and I'm so thankful I came back for my senior year.
Sean, consider really what you did tonight. I know that you were playing hurt on an ankle that's been bad for about a month now, really making your hay between the hashes up and down the field. It was hard to cut once you got outside.
Yeah, you know, it's just tough, but, you know, that's how God always is, man. He has a bunch of people that are willing to take sacrifices and go out there and prevail. And, you know, I just wanted to go out there and do what I think my teammates would do, and that's play sometimes a little banged up. And, you know, I haven't been able to do all the great things that I was doing before I got hurt, but, you know, it's just great to go out there and be able to help the team out there and win in a great game like this. Auburn's a great team.
Congratulations to you both. With this victory, you not only take the Iron Bowl for '99, but now you play for the SEC Championship. Brian, back to you.
Adrian, thank you very much. Great stuff there. Sean Alexander has been spectacular this year, and now it's 37-26, Alabama leading the all-time series with one tie. Now, Florida State and Florida, the big one earlier today, a Florida State win. They get to the Sugar Bowl for the national title game. Florida still had a shot at this as well. They win this and then go and play, as it turns out, Alabama in the SEC title game. A win here, they too would more than likely get to the Nokia Sugar Bowl to play for the national title. There's Steve Spurrier, 73-10 against the SEC, only 4-6 against that man, Bobby Bowden. Bowden at the age of 70, trying to get his first undefeated season. And Peter Warwick, 19 yards rushing, 9 catches, 90 yards, instant impact, 7-0 Seminoles. Third quarter, Florida down 13-9. Chris Wenke picked off by Benny Alexander, and the momentum shifts instantly.
Yeah, temporarily, though, because that was the only mistake Chris Wenke made today. He had an outstanding game. Florida jumped up top briefly, but he came back.
It was 16-13. Now it's 16-16. The Seminoles blocked a punt. That was huge. Jeff Chaney punches in. 23-16. Bowden on top. Fourth quarter, same score. Doug Johnston looking. They're in this game until he tries to force it through.
Yeah, he tried that a couple times. Couple pickoffs today. Johnson didn't look comfortable in the pocket most of the game. The switching of quarterbacks on every play, I think, hurt him.
Chris Hope there with the pick. Meantime, Wenke to Marvin Minnis. Wenke was 24 for 36, 263 yards in the air. It's 30-16. But Florida not done yet. 30-23. Jesse Palmer, last gasp, and this very close. Look at this ball.
Yeah, Florida had a shot at it. Almost got there, but not quite.
30-23. Bobby Bowden goes to the swamp and comes out unbeaten. 30-23 the final. Should be a lock for the Sugar Bowl now and play for the national title.
Yeah, absolutely. And really the best performance of the year by Florida State. Their defense was dominant, and the offense was clicking today.
Let's check out Virginia Tech. Maybe it's Virginia Tech in that Sugar Bowl to play for the national championship. Taking on Temple, a team that upset them last year somehow. Michael Vick looking around, punches out. This is after Temple took the opening drive and went 7-0, took the lead, but Michael Vick said it's not going to last long. 53 yards for the touchdown. He had 12 carries, 134 yards on the ground, running 75 yards on this. Just comes out of the pocket. Said he was out of shape, Rod, because he was tired after all this running.
Yeah, well, there wasn't anybody fast enough to catch him out there on the Temple team, and Virginia Tech struggled early. 4 times inside the 30, came away with 1 field goal, but Michael Vick saved the day for him.
Temple had a 7-0 lead. That just made him mad. 62-7. Virginia Tech with a huge win. They've got Boston College next to wrap up the regular season. They also win the Big East with this win. Now, big game. Cal and Stanford. Wes Dalton, first career start. Last college game was a 4-year walk-on. Meantime, Delta O'Neal taking this for Cal. And Cal really playing just for this game and to win the big game and going back 100 yards. He had a kickoff return. He had a punt return. His offense all by himself.
Yeah, he was really all the offense that they had. Stanford shut down the inexperienced quarterback for California and then turned it over to their offense that produced big plays.
Casey Moore, 94 yards. Nobody's grabbing him here. That's the longest run in big game history. I know you're up on that, Rodney. And the biggest run for Stanford in 47 years. And the axe is theirs. And they smell the roses. 31-13. First Rose Bowl since the 1972 Rose Bowl. Now, with that, here are the teams that are already in the BCS Bowls. The 4 BCS games. It's the Sugar Bowl, the Rose Bowl, Fiesta, and Orange. It's made up of 6 conference champions and 2 at-large teams. We now know 4 of the 6 conference champions. The Big 12 and SEC still to be decided on December 4th. So a lot of things can happen as far as those at-large teams. We know Michigan could be there, Big 12 loser, Tennessee. A lot of things can happen, but there's only certain teams that can still make it.
Well, you're still trying to figure some of that out right now, and you know that you're probably going to get Nebraska or Virginia Tech against Florida State in the Sugar Bowl. But when you look at the at-large situation, probably the Big 10 or the SEC will get a second team in there, maybe the Big 12, and Marshall's lurking out there. But that's going to take some time to play itself out with the championship games. Then you look at the Rose Bowl matchup, a real good classic matchup, Big 10 power, Pac-10 offensive power. Should be a great game. Keep in mind one thing. Wisconsin played their last game last week. Stanford has another game next week against Notre Dame. You got to worry about the layoff if you're Wisconsin a little bit. Good matchup, though.
You said a good matchup for Stanford against Wisconsin. I don't know if everybody agrees with you on
you want
that.
the run, Dame, for 500 yards.
Pac-10 finesse, but they were impressive, and Stanford gets to the Rose Bowl. We got some more Big Ten action coming your way. Ohio State trying to go bowling, and what happened to Penn State? We'll be back right after this.
Here's how you can more than double your current life insurance coverage without paying 1 penny more than you